today too.
Women's March is today. Oh,
Yep.
Maybe we'll chat about that for a little bit. What's up? Welcome, everybody. We are live. Welcome to Redman Group number 50. It's been 50 episodes, gentlemen. That is a lot.
It is.
I can't wait till we get to 500. Yeah, pleased to be on today with the classic crew. We've got Rollo Tomasi of The Rational Male, The Godfather, Ryan Stone of rhinestone.com, and of course, Donovan Sharp of The Sharp Reality. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Good,
man.
Yep.
Hey.
I'm a little furry this morning. You'll have to excuse me.
Yeah, you've been boycotting Gillette this week, right? You're growing a beard. Tell us you're growing a beard.
No, I'm growing a beard. I would look like George Bruno, only maybe a little bit darker.
There you go.
Listen, we want angry Rollo with the beard. Angry
with a beard, yeah,
Rollo
frothing at the mouth.
Rollo. Yes.
You wanted neck beard. You're gonna get neck beard real quick here. Yeah, it's funny. I've got yeah, I'm gonna check it out. I haven't got the product yet, but bodybarber.com. Go there. Go switch over to bodybarber.com. Don't go to Harry's. Harry's
also hates men.
They hate men. Gillette hates men. PG&E or PG Procter Gamble. Yeah, Procter Gamble. No. I'm trying to think who else is. Dollar Shave Club. I don't know enough about Dollar Shave Club, but I'm going with Body Barber right now because they're sending me some stuff, and they might actually be the actual first official sponsor or endorser or whatever of my show, or maybe even the show. So
absolutely, yes, we definitely need more.
We'll talk about that later. If we don't talk about that today, I certainly would like to talk about that with Donovan later on.
Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. Let's hop into updates. Who wants to go first?
I'll start it off because I usually go pretty quick. New video on the YouTube channel. This time we're just doing something simple. I did not realize guys didn't know how to make poached eggs or tell when their girl actually forgives or they actually should forgive their girl for cheating or not. So I matched up those together.
Nice. I got to check that out.
Yeah.
Is that one of those things that you have to teach millennials? Like, here's how you poach an egg and here's how you change a tire because they don't know.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I got tons of content that's basic shit. So
I know.
Show you how to clean your house next. Anyways, beyond that, it's just rolling along doing the same stuff. It's a quiet month because January in Canada is always the worst. And I'll pass it off here.
It is cold as balls today, by the way, guys. Like, Ryan's downtown Toronto. I'm in the Toronto suburbs, and it's like minus 22 degrees Celsius with the wind chill factor today. It is damn cold here.
Wow.
Dude, you got to see it. There's like this. You can see the wind because there's just enough snow so you can see it whipping by. I'm like, and the windows are rattling right now. I don't like it at all.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And I'm over here
by the way,
about
I'm posting in the chat Ryan's new video for you guys if you want to watch it later. Sorry. Go ahead, Donovan.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm over here complaining about winters in Philly. I moved out here to Philly about a year and a half ago. And the first thing that became obvious to me was just the weather and the cold. Having lived in Vegas for almost 9 years and then Reno for a year after that, man, the humidity. And then of course the winter time, God, man, that was a rude awakening. We certainly ain't in Vegas anymore, Toto, for sure.
We in Vegas, Toto.
Yeah.
All right, what are your updates, dude? What's happening this week, Donovan?
So yeah, just came off of my my week vacation. The week before last, I took off, and I had long-term relationship week. My first two episodes, Monday and Tuesday, it was a 2-part episode, how to properly vet a woman for a relationship. And a lot of guys, I think where a lot of men trip themselves up in the beginning is they don't vet women properly. And what they're using the quote unquote short-term girlfriend standard for the long-term girlfriend standard. Short-term girlfriend, fuck buddy, friend with benefit, hookup, booty call, whatever we want to call it. And if she looks good and she fucks us good, and if we can stand her for 10 minutes at a time outside of sex, okay, you can be my fuck buddy. Men are applying that standard for long-term relationships. Well, the problem is that vetting a woman properly takes time. So I took 2 episodes to talk about that. I talked about, I did another 2-part episode, establishing boundaries for your woman, when and how to establish boundaries, expectations, et cetera, et cetera. And there was so much information that I had to give. I actually have to extend long-term relationship week. So long-term relationship week is going to end on Monday. And then of course, Tuesday, I'm going to talk about R. Kelly. Last night I did a random stream. I talked about the Gillette commercial, as well as why I love it when hot naked women wear heels. So a very interesting sort of potpourri. Yeah, see, you guys are on board. Very good. But yeah, great week of shows on TSR Live. Next week is going to be even more explosive. And we're going to talk about why so many millennial men, Generation Z men, are still living at home with mom, R. Kelly, all that stuff. So going to be a great week of shows, man. It's good to be here today.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome again. Welcome.
Nice.
Rollo, what's up with you?
Oh
man?
boy, what haven't I been doing? You know, it's funny you guys are talking about the weather. I've been housebound really for like 3 days this week because we got a really decent winter storm, and which is always good news for me because I've got a brand new sled that I have not taken out yet, which I'm probably going to take out right after the show. So that'll be fun.
How cold is it where you're at right now? Like, is it freezing?
It's below freezing. It's below freezing right now. It's probably like 28, maybe 25 degrees outside right now.
Wow. Has it snowed in Reno
Fahrenheit?
yet?
In Reno itself, it did 2 days ago, but it's probably gone right now because we got a really cold storm that came through, and then that dumped a bunch of snow, and then we got a warm storm that came through, and that melted it all and just rained it out, at least in the foothills. But up in the higher elevations, up in Tahoe, there's fresh powder up there. So
That's
Real
what I'm
quick, not to
talking about.
interrupt
If
you,
it's
do you
going to be
remember-
cold, give me some snow.
You remember back in the winter of 2016 where, and that's when I was in Reno, and we were getting snow literally every week. And guys all around me were all, well, this is the worst winter we've had in 25 years. I'm like, yeah, this would have to be when I moved here, coming from freaking Las Vegas where it never snows. It rains 2 inches a year there.
See,
they always say that. Everybody complains.
I lived in Lake Tahoe in '97. And that was when we had the flood of '97 in Reno, but in the higher elevations, I mean, it was like driving in tunnels because that's how high the snow was. I mean, it was like 12-foot, 15-foot drifts. So
Nice.
it was pretty bad. That was the worst I've ever seen it. I don't know. I mean, 16 was okay, but I think the only reason everybody was saying it was so big such a bad winter was because we haven't had a real winter in a very long time. But anyway, so I'm taking the sled out. That's my hobby thing. I as you probably all know, I'm sure Ryan knows, I got wrapped up in the Gillette commercial madness, which I knew everybody else was going to. So I just decided to pile on as well.
Fuck Gillette.
I was going to say, I would like to talk about that. I'm probably going to talk about that on my show, but Donovan, if you want to get into that like later on after this show, I wouldn't mind getting.
Yeah, definitely. I'm doing the Red Man group. Yeah, the after party. Yeah, it's going to be me.
I might do that. I might do that with you this time, but cool. just to sort of talk about that. But like, I thought it was interesting because I had a lot, when something like that goes down, I have a bunch of people that like just throw stuff at me in my DMs. And so I started having to, sift through it. And I think
like good stuff or bad stuff?
Well, both really. But like I'll get information like right now I've got like probably like 2 or 3 little spies out at the women's marches, one in San Francisco. I do. One in
Rollo's committing feminist espionage, man.
Yeah. And it's not like I go and hunt these guys down. It's like they hit me up and say, hey man, I'm gonna be there. Do you want like a live feed? Should I do a Periscope? Like if anything goes down, yeah, sure, because you're never going to see that. And the thing that gets me is like today, for people who don't know, today is the Women's March once again. And this time it's been really controversial simply because they're saying that it's anti-Semitic, or it's there's not enough black women there, or there's not enough Latino women. It's all white women out there in pink pussy hats, and and they're cucked little boys running around too. And so I told these guys, I said, if it's something that is that's controversial that you're not going to see on TV, and you're really probably not even going to see on Twitter, because I think we're getting to a stage right now, like where we can see like somebody like Tim Pool will go to like one of these rallies or one of these protests at like say Portland or like Berkeley or something, and they'll be on feet on the ground kind of thing, and he'll be taking video, and you will see all of this stuff that you would never see on mainstream TV. You would never see it on like say CNN or anything, and that sort of goes without saying. That you're never going to see like sort of like the violence or what Antifa does and that kind of stuff. But I think we're also getting to the point where like say somebody like Tim Pool, and I'm just using him as an example. I'm not saying he personally would do this, but I think there's people who are sort of like feet on the ground who don't want to. They want to sort of have their own filters themselves, and so they really won't show things that they think would be ideologically bad for themselves. So I think it's also important to remember that when you're seeing that video, you're also seeing the bias of the person taking that video.
Right.
And you're only going to see like the clip of, you're not going to see anything that leads up to it. You're just going to see like the violence itself and go, oh my God, can you believe this happened? And it's like, well, you didn't see any of the pretext that happened to it too. So I think it's important to take that with a grain of salt, but also, we are the media now. So, and my media is these guys hitting me up and telling me, hey, I'm going to go and do this. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. And I mean, I guess they know that I've got a growing audience. And so they come and they want to participate, they want to be wrapped up in it. But these guys were coming up to me, and as far as the Gillette commercial was concerned, I didn't know who the director was. Whenever I see a commercial like that, whenever I see like the Audi commercial for I think it was 2017 when
the kid jumping in the pool. I love it. I love it.
I think that was it. But yeah, like in 2017 for the Super Bowl, there was this presumption that Hillary Clinton was going to be the president. So it was all these female empowerment commercials, and these are commercials that were shot and produced and approved like a year in advance, really. I mean, like 2016, they're saying, okay, we know Hillary's going to be the president, so we're going to produce this commercial, and we're going to do all this kind of, we're going to base our marketing plan for 2017 on the presumption that Hillary's going to be president, and she wasn't. It's the same thing that happened with House of Cards. That's why they made Claire Underwood the president. In a thing, they go, okay, we're gonna work it out so she becomes the president, and Frank is put off, and of course they couldn't foresee that.
Well, it was the perfect storm because Frank ended up being not off the show with the whole Kevin Spacey thing, right? And of course now nobody wants to watch it because they were watching it because they wanted to see Frank Underwood because he's a bastard, right? And so they like to watch that, but now it's like it's switched over and they're completely losing the audience. I think the only reason they did that last season is because they had her contractually scheduled for one more season. But so you will see this, and so when you see these commercials, particularly the ones for the Super Bowl this year, which is coming up, there's already talk that Serena Williams is going to do some sort of female power commercial, and I think that we kind of get bogged down in like when we see something like the Gillette commercial, we get bogged down in the idea that oh well, it wasn't that bad, it's just telling guys to be better. It's like, no, you have to look at all the shit that built up to that. Like, why did they do this? Why did they hire a radical a notorious, well-known radical feminist director who's done, Viva La Vulva, like the singing vaginas commercials. Oh my God. Okay. Like, people don't see that. They only see like, oh, this is teaching guys to be better guys and just to self-police themselves. No, it's not. You have to look at you have to look at all the things that lead up to that. And that's why whenever I see a commercial or I see an ad or that, that guys send me and stuff, so I'll go and I'll do a little bit of homework and I'll look and see who did that. Or like, I've been involved in ad agencies, and I think Ryan's been you used to do graphic design or something for a while, didn't you?
Yeah, that was me pre-military.
So you probably understand like the corporate culture that underlies a lot of advertising, and a lot of that is, especially now, is this millennial generation. Most of these agencies are run by women, and if they're not run by women, they're run by a really cucked guy who takes all of his marching orders from the girls in his PR department or whoever's
like in general now.
Yeah,
the best part was, though, how like the internet never forgets, and then all of a sudden those memes started to come out with the Gillette girls in the cat suits, the blue cat suits with Gillette on their butt.
Yep. And nobody thinks to do that. Like, and so I posted this in our private chat. It's like, I had 10 million 10 million engagement with just because of that Twitter exchange. And I know Jack had something similar to that too with some of the stuff that he's doing. It's like, people love the outrage. They love that outrage, but they never want to dig any deeper than just watching the commercial and going, you guys are man babies. So I've been dealing with that shit this whole week. So I've been doing that. And then of course I'm trying to like shut out, I'm trying to separate parts of my life. It's like, I've got to compartmentalize the Rollo that's on Twitter with the Rollo who's going to like turn everything off in this room and write for 2 or 3 hours at a clip. So that's something I got to learn. And I'm also packing for a trip to Florida, and I think that Rich is too.
Wait, hold on. Are you packing or are you packing?
No, I'm not packing.
I'm just
I'm
making sure.
packing
I'm
on. No,
making
I'm not packing.
making sure I had to get a little bit of
I
hood
should
language.
be, yeah. No, he and I are going to be going to Florida this week. We'll have a later announcement, I'm sure. But we're going to meet up with Anthony and a few other Manosphere celebrities in Florida over next week, and so I'm getting prepared for that trip. As some of you know, I own a house in Florida as well, so I will be going out there and spending a week and actually doing some work for this. For doing
You gonna rent the silver Camaro again or what?
no, but
Oh,
we've got some better
We got
plans.
something else
We've
bigger
got
lined
some
up.
way
Oh,
better
shit.
plans
Oh,
than that,
oh,
man.
shit. Okay, all right,
way
all right.
better plans. And yes, we will be on a boat at some point.
Yeah.
Well, we have some super chats. Let me just send some gratitude to these gentlemen. Marquis Stevens sent $5. Thank you for the super chat. We have another one here. I got to scroll down. Bill Arms, $10. It says, Rolo, can you hit on the propensity for women's tendency towards victimhood and why that is? It's almost as if they're amoral in all situations, especially in relationships, to avoid responsibility.
Almost.
You want me to
Almost.
answer that now, or should I just write that down and take that later?
Yeah,
No,
when
the
you
answer
write it down and take
no.
it later. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll take
Yeah,
that later. I'll take
yeah,
that
we got
off
one
there.
from Latino Manosphere as well, $4.99. Thank you for the super chat. That controversy proves that what I've always said: the left has made a bunch of groups who will never get along if not the old white man. And I think there was one more there. Nexus 974. Thank you for the super chat. He says, a modest contribution to support the good works of the Red Man Group. Thank you, gentlemen, for your contributions. We'll do my updates and we'll hop into today's topic, and we'll also deal with that question that actually, let me do my updates and then we'll deal with that question in a second.
Okay.
Had a busy week this week on my channel. Again, like Rolo mentioned, he's, he and I are packing to meet up with Anthony in Florida. We got some content to create and some work to prepare for the rest of the year with conventions and other things that we're doing. So we'll be doing some collaborating there. Make sure you're tuned to our Red Man Group channel and our individual channels, because you'll probably see some broadcasts while we're down there. I did 2 private broadcasts this week, which I don't normally do. I aim to do 1 a month for my men's community, and I added 2. The first one was one which I titled "Get Into Your First $1 Million." I've said before in a video, and I'll remind you guys again if you haven't seen it. I think every man should be a millionaire by the time he's 40. I know there's a lot of work to do out there. So what we did was we got a couple of guys to collaborate. I think we had about 5 guys present. We talked about investing in real estate and entrepreneurship, and that was a private broadcast. It was actually the one that drew in the most eyeballs in my community that time on a Zoom broadcast. I think with Hangouts, we only get 9 spots, but on Zoom, I got up to 100, and that filled up really fast. So that was good. And then we did another one this week, also one public with B-Rob on his salt dating book, which was really interesting. It read a lot like Neil Strauss's The Truth About Relationships, but with B-Rob's excursion kind of into the sugar/salt dating scene. And then I put him behind the scenes as well from a men's community, and they did some Q&A with him. So that was super good. So just busy packing, trying to get things out of the way. I got some requests for sponsored videos that I got to try to get through this weekend before I go. So if you guys are waiting for those, bear with me. I'll definitely have them out. But yeah, let's hop into today's topic. Actually, Rolo, do you want to address that question? Yeah, that somebody asked you there.
All right, I'll just repeat it real quick so you guys can sort of get in on this too if you'd like. It says, Rolo, can you hit on the propensity for women's tendency towards victimhood, and why is that? It's almost as if they're amoral in all situations, especially in response or relationships, to avoid responsibility. Okay, the second part of that question where you're talking about amoral, go and look up the episode that we did on women's agency. That is probably the best place to answer that question. We did 2 hours on exactly that topic, and so you can pick that up. However, the first part, why do women have a tendency towards victimhood? Well, you have to. There's 2 answers to that. There's the socialized answer, and then there's the evolutionary answer. The evolutionary answer is easy, because women are the protected sex. Women are more insecure when it comes to physicality than men, and that's just simply the way that they evolved, because they bear more reproductive cost in pregnancy. So they feel weak. That's why we call them the weaker sex. That's why men have an innate response, or reflexive response, to protect women. That's why we throw ourselves in front of women when the bullets start flying. That's an innate part of that. The other innate part of that is just this presumption that women are weaker and women need that protection, because they tend to be either the victims, or they tend to be like sort of the spoils of war. That war bride dynamic also kind of factors in there too. but it's this presumption that they're weaker. And the thing is that women then use that as a tactic because they know that men will protect them. They know that men have a natural propensity to protect them. They know that they are valuable because they're weak. And so they have to play on that. And as a result, due to acculturation and socialization and, over the years, we just presume that women are victims all the way up to the Duluth model of feminism. And that's the social aspect of it. But really that presumption that women are always the victims and men are always the aggressors and always the criminals, I guess. DDJ has talked about this a bunch of times, but the underlying, I think, evolutionary side of that whole thing is that we presume that women are weaker to begin with because of that. And so we have built this culture of victimhood that women are more than happy to utilize for their own ends, for their own reasons. And so they will happily play victim when it suits them, and then they'll happily play empowered woman. I don't need no man, strong independent woman brand, registered trademark, right? And they're happy to use that because that's whatever fits the feminine imperative at that time. So you guys have anything to say about that?
Yeah, I was just going to add into it.
Done.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. From the red pill, the one thing we always talked about on Reddit was, and they had to drill it into guys' heads, women will always prefer women over men, and men will usually prefer women over men. And add to that, in modern society now, we got the whole everybody wants to be equal thing. Let's take that as truth. Women instinctually know to build these kind of relationships, so when shit hits the fan, they have a little soft cushion to land on. Guys were notoriously bad at it. And you'll see this come out, especially in a divorce. All of a sudden, all those little shitty things like the Christmas cards and that the wife was doing, all those friends are more likely to be on her side than on his. And he's more likely to get zeroed out. So we're behind the 8 ball. Like, we shoot ourselves in the foot. At the same time, genetically, we're kind of predisposed to be thrown away. So that's just the one thing I would like to add, is that we're also horribly bad at actually using this.
Yep. So we got another super chat from Chris. He says, F Gillette, rather shave my sack with a potato peeler. Hey, I promise that I will read out any super chat.
Hey, man. If he's going to pay $5, man, why not?
You get it. I know. Exactly.
I'd pay 10 to watch him do it with the potato peeler.
Ooh. I'd pay 20 to watch him do it without a challenge.
Oh.
Watch that. Watch that be a challenge one day. We get these stupid
potato peeler
challenges. Challenges. There's going to be save your sack with potato peeler challenge because of this.
One thing I wanted to add about
Hopefully they don't pin it on us.
Well, I didn't say about that. One of the things people are I did this for effect. I am shameless here. But I took a picture of myself with my Gillette products and throwing them away, right? Because and the reason I did that really was symbolism. It's not that I thought, I'm going to throw these away and really hurt Gillette. Nobody is thinking that. Anybody who's throwing away their stuff or is participating in the boycott of Gillette, they're not doing that because they think they're going to drive the stock prices down. Get that through your fat heads, okay? It is because that's the thing, is that's what they think. Well, you're not really going to hurt them if you do that. That's stupid. Send them to me. I'm like, it's $18 worth of their fucking product. Do you really need it that bad? I'll send it to you. I'll put a stamp on it and send it to whoever needs it, because it's not about trying to hurt them financially. It's a symbol. It's a symbolic gesture. And you know what I'm going to do? From here on out, I'm going to tell everybody that I know, every guy that I know, don't use Gillette products. That's all. And that's the best I can do. So.
Okay, so let's hop into today's topic. Actually, before we do that, there were some people in the chat that were asking about the Patriarchs Convention this spring, the Fathers event. There is not a firm date set. I know people have asked, and they even emailed me a few times saying, when is the date? I'm trying to schedule it in so I make sure I don't have a conflict. Anthony has not announced the date. It will be announced at the end of this month on the 31st. So you obviously follow guys in the sphere. You have your favorite content creator. You'll hear an announcement from us by the 31st with the dates, and the tickets will be available then. So make sure you're tuned in and attentive on the 31st. Another super chat. The Bright 95 says, I have a plate that works for Gillette. She reminds me for my toxic masculinity with free razors. Oh, that's awesome.
That's great.
All right. So today's topic, secrets women keep from men. This will probably be triggering. We kind of chatted earlier this week about what to do for this week's topic. And I have, I think, 3 videos on my channel that have over 1 million views. And one of them that has over 1 million views is titled 5 Things Women Don't Want You to Know. So we can go through that list. You want to start with that, Rollo, or did you guys have some?
Yeah, let's do that.
Points you wanted to do? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you have some, throw that. I threw an extra one on there. You can see it in our chat. I threw one extra one on there. We've got 6 so far.
Yeah.
Right,
So what I'll do, so I don't belittle the videos. I'll link the video, but what I'll do is I'll quickly summarize it, and then I'll pass it off to the other guys. So there was 5 points. Number 1, women monkey branch mate switch faster than you think. This is something that most guys aren't aware of until they deal with the trauma, and it's usually something that leads into the red pill. It's like, whoa, I can't believe she did that. I thought that, her and I were tight. Like last week she's telling me how much she loves me and all that sort of thing, and then next week she's out with some other dude and I haven't seen her again and she's frigid as ice, sort of stuff. There was a mate switching study that was done by a university that I did a long detailed video on. I basically went through it paragraph by paragraph and I uploaded it for my community. But the distilled version is women move very quickly. They actually prepare to move very quickly. I mean, Rollo's 0.6 on plan B. I'll let him explain that. So that'll dovetail in nicely. Number 2, hypergamy doesn't care about relationship equity whatsoever. Guys often think that they'll go out and do the work. They'll renovate the kitchen for their wives. They'll put a new spa bathtub in the master ensuite. They'll put in shelving in the closet. They'll move their shit out of the closet and put it in like some basement corner, and it gives the wife the entire closet. And they think that because they make all these sacrifices, that they have equity in the relationship that they can then cash in later should they need it. But what guys don't realize is it's kind of tied into Prevolt's law as well, where you're only useful to women so long as you're useful. And if they have a better option, they can switch over to it quite easily. Again, I'll link the video so you guys can watch it afterwards. Number 3, they date more people simultaneously than you think they do.
Yep, you better believe it.
Women spin plates. A lot of guys don't think that they spin plates. They don't like to lead on to.
They naturally spin plates.
Oh my
naturally
God,
spin
They
plates.
don't even call it spinning plates. They just call it dating.
Yeah, they just call it dating. We call it spinning plates. But women naturally select through a series of men at the same time simultaneously. I know that George Bruno likes to call it the box of dicks. Like women have this phone with dating apps on it, and it calls it the box of dicks. But it's like they can at any given time push a button and something pops up and there it is. So just understand that women have a lot more going on than they lead you to believe that they have going on. They want you to think that they're sugar and spice and all things nice, and would never do anything like that, but trust me, it happens a lot more than you think. Women get bored a lot faster in relationships than men. Now I've seen that confirmed from a number of different sources now. And if you look at it as a curve, men's interest in their woman, it declines slowly over time. Whereas for women, it's more like a hockey stick. It starts off nice in the honeymoon phase, and then it just drops and kind of goes down like that. That's just the reality of male-female dynamic. Esther Perel talks about it in depth in many of her books, and there was somebody else that confirmed it in another broadcast I watched last week. I can't remember who it was, but another well-renowned evolutionary psychologist. But again, it's the truth. Number 5, women cheat as much as men do, but mostly when they're ovulating. Actually, I'll pass this over to Rollo.
Men do.
As much, if not more. But I'll pass this over to Rollo because he actually is very, very, very good at describing how women cheat and when they do because of the ovulatory cycle. Yeah, you have an entire series.
I have a whole series of posts. Cool. It's in a lot of my books. Also, it was the first talk I ever did for the 21 convention. I have actually you can go and watch it for free. On 21 University on YouTube. But in that, the title of that was Hypergamy, Micro to Macro. And I go into sort of the biological aspects of why hypergamy exists. And the main reason for that is because of ovulatory shift as women. And even if, people say, well, that's not a settled science. Well, there's 25 years of research behind it that pretty much reinforces it. However, even if that were not the case, I mean, it's pretty self-evident that women want the best that they can get, right? Gillette, right? And so there are certain times of the month where women are more predisposed to sex, whether that is with somebody within their pair bonds or outside of their pair bonds. And so they tend to look for more masculinized features when they are in what's called the proliferative phase of ovulatory shift, meaning that they're right about to ovulate, or they are at ovulation, the point of ovulation, and that's when they are looking for alpha fucks. Once they have ovulated, and once they move past that, and they go into menesis, and they go into the down cycle of menstruation, and this is just the quick breakdown of it. If you want more detail, go and check those videos out. That's when they call their emotional tampon and go, "He's such a bastard. How come he doesn't fuck me?" And that's that phase, right? So for that week, then you get to be the shoulder to cry on if you're the beta orbiter, and it's like, "Okay, girl, I would never do that to you." That's that phase where she wants to nest. And I almost changed my mind a little bit about this phase when I was reading Hormonal, because in there, Marty Hasselton, evolutionary psychologist who does all this kind of research, she was saying that in the down cycle, and this is something I don't think a lot of people know, is in the down cycle, women's bodies tend to believe that they are pregnant. Like if they had
Really?
sex, yes, if they had
Wow, I
sex,
didn't know that.
and this is the simplistic, stupid way of saying this, but this is when a woman goes through the proliferative phase, and she has sex with a guy during that phase, her body presumes, because it's just efficient, it's biological efficiency, presumes that she is pregnant, and therefore she goes into this nesting phase, and she wants comfort, and she wants to see guys with more feminized features, and she goes and talks to her girlfriends more, because what she's doing is she's preparing for being pregnant, for getting into that nesting. And that's why she becomes more emotional, and the chemical cocktail that's sort of running through her body at that time predisposes her to being more emotional and being more sensitive and wanting comfort and rapport, and looking for specifically looking for the guys who are more feminized and more comforting to her, because they believe that they're going to be pregnant, and therefore they're going to sort of like this pre-nesting kind of way of thinking about it. Then they flush their system out, they get really bitchy, and then they go back into the cycle again, and they become, they go through the proliferative phase, and they do that one more time. So that's the kind of the short Cliff Notes version of ovulatory shift. I will probably end up doing a more detailed one on my own channel sometime, because I really think that kind of fits into Red Pill 101. So
Okay, so just real quick, because Rolla finished number 5, I just want to add to that 2 little hacks that you can be attentive to. Number 1, if your woman is going out, I mean, if you track her cycle, and if she's going out with her girlfriends for a girls' night out or parties or whatever, at the peak of ovulatory, so she's getting all dressed up, doing her hair, makeup, the best push-up bra, the leggings, the high heels, all that sort of stuff, you need to be paying attention. If she's nagging you around that time, and she's not giving you any kind of sexual interest or any kind of signals, choosing signals for sexual interest, you got to be paying attention. Something is going on. Go ahead to number 6.
One thing I was going to say, well, just really quickly, one thing is that what you're talking about right there is most guys are very sensitive to that. We have a natural sensitivity to when a woman is in.
Too.
We don't think we do. We think like, oh, we got to have everything rational. It has to be right in our face. No, we have instinctual ways of telling when a woman is in her ovulatory phase. And if you are pair bonded to a woman at that time, that is when guys tend to make guard more, is right during that phase. And so they're like, no, bitch, you ain't going nowhere, but you have to understand, why is she doing that, and why is she not doing that for you? Because here's one of the misconceptions of hypergamy. There's this idea that I'm promoting, that, well, because of hypergamy, every chick is going to cheat on their man. No, that is not the case. In fact, that is statistically and research wise not the case. When a woman is in a satisfying relationship with a guy, she becomes more sexually interested, proactive, whatever it is. There's a word for it.
She fucks you more.
Yeah, she wants to fuck
There it
you
is.
more, basically.
Yep.
If you're within
Info.
that, and she will focus her sexual attentions on you if she's in a satisfying relationship. Thank you, Marty Hasselton. If you are not in a satisfying relationship, that is when she will look for sex outside of that relationship. So don't think that it is a straight jacket. Okay, hypergamy is not a straight jacket. There's lots of ways around that if you know how to work it. So that's all I wanted to say about that 5. Now, the 6th one that I've got right here, I'm just going to start reading some stats here, but this is the Plan B thing. This is a secret that women like to keep. I did a post on this called Plan B, and they did some research on this. So I'll just throw out some numbers here. 43% of women have a backup man if the current relationship ends. Okay.
Bingo.
43%. That's almost half of women have a plan.
I guarantee that's a conservative statistic, man.
And I would say so too.
Yep.
The other one is 8 out of 10 women are in contact with that backup man. Meaning that they're through social media, Facebook, whatever. Maybe that's the guy that she just tells you, don't worry about this guy. That's the guy at work. Yeah, that's the dude. She has women love orbiters, and maybe that should be really the sort of 6.5 here. Is women like to have that attention. They even if they're married and they've been married for 10 years, they still love to have men kind of fawn on them, or like, well, things don't work out. That's that kind of thing. And again, that goes back to hypergamy, because hypergamy is based on doubt. And so to allay that doubt, or to sort of consolidate on security, women will establish things like that. They'll establish relationships so that I think it was it Chris Rock? It's like, you're the friend, and you keep the friend behind the glass case.
Yes,
it's like in case of emergency. Break, yeah, and that here's my dick, right? Okay, so 8 out of 10. That's what he said. 8 out of 10 are in contact with that backup man. 15% of these said that their feelings were stronger for the backup man. So they have stronger. That's really the alpha widow kind of thing. It's like, right. I really wish I could get with that guy. Those are the women who are going to cheat, and they're going to feel okay in cheating because their needs aren't being met, or they'll make up some bullshit. Okay. Now, 50% of them said that their partner was aware of the backup man.
Oh my God.
So the 50%, half of the people, remember, 43% of women said that they had a backup man, but half of those said that their partner was aware of the backup man, that they knew that was the guy that they were going to go to. Haha, it's okay. All that is really just sort of a softer form of poly. It's polyandry is what it is. So that's another one. 1 out of 5 of the men admitted the man was a friend of their partner. Like, your best friend is like, I mean, this is 1 in 5. So what is that? 20%? 20% knows that knows the other guy and was a friend of that partner. And then finally, here's 1 out of 10 said the backup man had already confessed their undying love. So that's what I mean by Plan B. Those are the little secrets that women don't want you to know about, because if they don't, it upsets their consolidating on security. And that's really what hypergamy boils down to. It's alpha fucks and beta bucks. And so when a woman gets into a sense of security, like, women want this idea, they want to be able to have the fun and exciting alpha guy. They want to have the really, hang from the chandeliers kind of sex. But then, like I said, once they get into that down cycle of their
epiphany phase.
Yeah, well, that's the long term, and I'm talking about it in the short term. Once they get into the down cycle, once they're in menesis, that's when they want comfort, and that's when they want to feel good about that.
Right. Okay.
And that is the security. That's when they want security. So that's the opposite side of hypergamy. Is women want security in a very chaotic world. They want to enjoy the chaotic world, but when it's all over and the fun stops, they want to know that they're going to be taken care of, and that everything's going to be fine, and they don't want to fuck anything up, right? They don't want to screw up their perfect thing with the guy that they're with, but he's not exciting. So they have to find a way to balance hypergamy with the fun, exciting alpha, and still maintain the relationship with the kind of dull but secure beta. And so really what hypergamy boils down to is it's security and doubt.
So Rollo, you're on a roll now. We got a super chat I'd like you to hit on. Jonty says, but are orbiters seen as potential backups?
That's a good question, man.
No, not actually. I wouldn't say so. I don't think you guys would agree with that either. I think that there are always going to be orbiters who think. I mean, shit. One of the reasons why chicks are doing the Instagram modeling and the cam whoring is because guys are a source. First of all, they're a source of attention, and they're also a source of money today too. So are all of them considered Plan Bs? No, of course not.
John, I know you're watching. I just DM'd you the join link to your Twitter. So if you want to join us on the broadcast, it's there now.
Mm-hmm.
There's another
think-
super crack. Another
Super crack.
Super crack from Hoki Bukisa. He says, and those backup men are only temporary until they find the next primary. There's always a backup plan, and women probably have a backup to the backup.
Oh,
Women don't just have a plan B, gentlemen. They've got a plan B, a C, and a plan D. And I did
why?
an episode
Because those orbiters are so dehydrated.
Yes.
There's a never-ending supply of them.
Yeah.
No, listen, I totally agree. The orbiters are never going away. And women want all the benefits of being in a relationship without actually being in one, which is why they have backup men in the first place.
And some women can raise this to an art form, like Lauren Sanchez, for example.
Oh my god.
Oh my God! Talk about
Jesus
that, dude.
Christ,
Because this dovetails perfectly. You must have seen that article.
I think what was interesting about that whole thing, yeah, it does dovetail into this pretty nicely.
So who is she, first of all? Because she's the
She
one
is
with
the
Bezos
quote unquote mistress. I don't know if they're still together. I think that was just
Dude,
sort
you
of
can't listen. You can't be a mistress and be pushing 50. I'm sorry. Like, listen, when I think mistress, I think of a 21-year-old.
Dirty
She got
Sanchez
the richest guy in
disagrees.
the world to leave his wife.
Unbelievable. This is because the richest guy in the world has no game.
He's got no game. He's done.
Listen, if Jeff Bezos had game, he'd be fucking Lauren Southern instead of Lauren Sanchez. That's how this works. Are you kidding me?
Hi, Lauren.
Dude, she's 49 years old, man. Like, she doesn't have game. I don't blame him. I get it, but that's just how it is, man.
Yeah. Well, and then, like I said, that women can raise this to an art form. You know, how can a 49-year-old do this? Well, I mean, look at some of the guys that she was with. What was the black dude that she was with? Was he like was he in the NFL or something like that?
He was. He was.
I don't know who
I don't know who
exactly, but I was looking at like they're of course, you know, the paparazzi are going to come out and say, well, look who she's been with. And, you know, she makes a habit of doing this. And, you know,
NBA star Derek Fisher, after she split with NFL, after she split with NFL fiance Anthony Miller, because she cheated on him.
Yeah. So you're going to tell me that she got with Jeff Bezos and said, you know what? He's just so hot. This is
literally alpha fucks beta bucks. That's what this is. So she fucked with all the alphas in the NFL and the NBA, right? Now she is beyond the wall. So what kind of beta bucks? Oh, there we are. Let's go after 137 billion net worth Jeff Bezos with no game. It worked out perfectly. And listen, we can all sit here and hate on Lauren Sanchez if we want to. Listen, I give the girl props, man. Listen, she's playing the game. Playing the game.
I didn't even know her name until you mentioned it there. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, and the only reason I even know who she is because of the whole Jeff Bezos thing. And then everybody wants to say, well, Jeff Bezos has got to be an alpha, man. Look how rich he is.
Oh, please.
Oh, he's a lot more alpha than what he was 10 years ago.
He could have any girl he wants. No, he can't. Obviously, he can't. I mean, here's your group.
If he watches the Red Man group, he could. He's worth 137 billion and he's not ugly. The guy could be up to his eyeballs in 19 and 20-year-olds. Literally. I've got a few lies that women keep from men. Number one,
they're not lies. They're just
white lies, untruths. Number one is paternity fraud, right? Yes, these are your children. I consulted a guy. I'm not going to say his name.
It's your baby,
right? He was on the verge of suicide. Why? Been married to a woman for 12 years, had 4 kids. He found out that 2 of his kids were not biologically related to him. It gets better. Both of them had different fathers. Unbelievable. 13 years. And oh, by the way, it was his 2 oldest kids. So after she shit out the kids of the alpha, then she decided to say, okay, I'll take the beta seed. So that's number one.
You guys know that they've conservatively estimated that to be at 20%.
Oh, Jesus.
Conservatively estimated to be 20%.
Not even close.
Only because we now have the capacity to just casually do it.
Yeah. So lie number 2, sexual encounters. Now we all know that women lie about their notch counts, but these aren't the sexual encounters I'm talking about. I'm talking about threesomes and trains. If a girl went to a 4-year school, she has been fucked by 2 dudes at the same time.
That was my other one.
You better believe it. She's been, and by the way, if it's 2 guys and a girl, it's not a threesome, gentlemen. That's a train. Okay. Have you ever, if a girl says I had a threesome, okay, so that's you, a girl, and some other guy, that's a threesome. But if it's you and 2 more dicks, that's called a train. If there was 1 more person, well, it was 2 girls and 2 guys. Still, sweetie, that's a train. If there's more than 1 cock involved, if there's more than 1 cock involved in the bedroom, that is a train. Number 3, women cheat way more than men. And it's interesting because men perpetuate the slide. Oh, we as men, we cheat more than women. No, men know this not to be true, but we can't admit it out loud because it shows that women have, quote unquote, more game than we do. Well, it's easy for women to get thick. It's easy for women to cheat. It's much easier for them to cheat. And anybody who doubts this, think about this. You tell one man and one woman, you have 24 hours to get as much sex as possible. In 24 hours, who's going to go out and get more sex? It is going to be the woman 15 out of 10 times. So that puts that to rest. Here is another lie, okay? Any white woman over the age of 35 who is either unmarried or divorced or whatever, doesn't have a man, she starts fucking black guys, okay? Listen, I'm trying to tell you, man, after 35, non-black women start fucking the brothers. And the reason I know this is because I have fucked plenty of women over the age of 35. You're the first black guy I've dated, or I've started dating black guys. Do not get it twisted. If your non-black girlfriend is over the age of 35, chances are she has taken a ride on the black cock carousel. I'm gonna tell you a quick story. I actually mentioned this in the chat here. So one person in the chat said very briefly that, and I've said this before, you learn a lot more about women being the guy she cheats with than the guy she cheats on. You learn about women when you get cheated on, but you learn a lot more when you're the guy she cheats with. Tell you a quick story. Bitch I was fucking in Vegas. Name was Sabrina. She was married and her husband was a beta bitch boy. He tried to be a cop but couldn't really do it. So here's what's happening. So she would get a hotel room every Tuesday afternoon, which was great because we'd fuck and then she'd leave me the keys, then me and my homeboys could sit there and party in this hotel room that some other chick had paid for. And she ended up ghosting on me for whatever reason. Anyway, it was one afternoon. I just got done fucking. Her phone is buzzing, right? Buzz, buzz, buzz. And so I'm like, yo, like, turn that shit off. She's like, no, it's not what you think. I was like, I don't give a fuck what you do. I don't care who you fuck, how you fuck them. Just don't rearrange that shit on mine. She's like, no. My friend is tagging me in pictures. And I've told this story before back in episode 83. Here's what was going on, guys. What she was doing is anytime she came to fuck me, her friend would take a selfie of her and her friend at a Starbucks or wherever she told her husband she was going to be. Then she would wear the same outfit that they took in the pictures when she came to see me. And because her husband was friends with them on Facebook, her friend would cover for her and tag her, hey, me and Sabrina are at Starbucks, blah, 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 blah. So while her husband was tagged in these photos, he thinks Sabrina is at Starbucks drinking a 17-syllable latte. No, she's getting a 17-syllable protein shake down her throat and assed him out. He's got no idea. This is how women help each other cheat, right? So this is another secret that women won't tell you. Women help each other cheat. I've seen it soon. I've seen it. Yeah,
you're right. 100% right. Ryan, what do you got, buddy?
Go ahead.
Well, to be honest, he stole my thunder on that one with that amazing story. And I was going to show you guys, no, this is how deep the rabbit hole goes. When she cheats, it's not just her friends, her family, your friends, your family. Doctors will keep it from you.
Wow.
Globe and Mail had an article, a big expose out a couple of years back.
Oh, it's illegal.
Doctors decided that if through a test they find out through paternity that it's not the father's, that they are obligated not to tell the guy because of what he'll do.
Yeah, because they say that because it's a cult of the child. They think that they're doing what's in the best interest of the child, and I think that's fantastic because it's also women use the cult of the child as sort of like a defense against other things. The child.
Oh, now listen, you're selfish your entire life. Now you care about the kid. Get the fuck out of here.
And you got to be comfortable with the uncertainty of this when you realize that there's nobody you can trust with this kind of stuff. So you really have to trust your instincts and not rely on other people to feed you good information.
Yeah.
Second little lie. Yeah. When the marriage is on the rocks and she starts doing new shit with you out of nowhere, she's probably practicing with the guy she's currently. Boom. Happens so often when it's like a drug. When a girl decides to cheat because they don't have multiples, they have the best. And if it's currently the plate, then it's not you. And she wants to be her best in front of him. So she'll try new stuff with him. She'll actually treat sleeping with you as if she's cheating on him. It's a weird phenomenon, and I can't I don't know the science behind it. I just know it's there. It came up all the time when we were doing married red pill stuff.
Guys are very sensitive to that too, because like they'll have sex with their girlfriends or their wives for, maybe a year or so. And then they'll be like, what changed? Something's weird. Like she's acting strange. Like our sex isn't what it used to be. And she's really reserved. But then like when she sees the other guy or when like she's around her plan B guy, that's when she's flirty and she wears stuff. She wears shit for him that she would never wear for you, although she's with you. And that kind of goes back, Ryan, that kind of goes back to what I was talking about, how women want that comfort side of hypergamy. They want that beta guy to be. They want him to be home. They want him to be there. They want him to be safe. They want to be able to cry in his arms. They want him to nest with that guy, but they want to fuck his friend.
And here's what makes
do anything to do it. Yep.
Here's what makes this system just brilliant too, because she'll have these good feelings when she comes home. You're getting the residual effect of that.
That's
and
a real good one.
Typical way of a woman manipulating you is through your ego. So right there, it's a double whammy. You get home, she's all of a sudden in the greatest mood ever. You're like, wow, this must be me. She tells you how great of a man you are. Because there's great sex.
She's in the postcoital glow. She just got fucked by Kevin and Sales. She's going to be happy. Here's something else to watch out for is watch her terminology. If she starts using verbal expressions that she's never used before, chances are she's probably hearing it from another man, because when a woman starts fucking a man she really likes, she starts to emulate him. She starts to do what he likes. She starts to say what he likes. Watch out for that.
Now, and then I'll switch it down a gear here, just so we're not talking about cheating for an hour and a fucking half.
Yeah.
But when a girl, and this is a common married thing, where if it tells the guy, if you did more, insert chore here, then maybe I wouldn't be so tired and we'd fuck more. She doesn't want to fuck you, but she still wants you to do some shit for her. That's a typical manipulative thing. It's the same as an orbiter trying to give you a whiff so you give her some money or whatever.
So we have
Captain Stash is in the building.
Did you have one more? 'Cause we got Captain 70s porn star Stash on right
yes,
now.
sir.
Yeah.
Hey, we gotta come up. Listen, we gotta come up with a porn star name for Jonathan. Porn star name, guys. Go put him in the chat. Porn star name from. Listen, the standard operating procedure is your middle name and the street you grew up on. I'm gonna give you guys some proprietary information here.
I thought it was your first dog in the street.
No. It's your middle name and the street you grew up on. So my porn star name would be Donovan Mercury.
Mine's George Van Horn.
Oh, no.
I'm not even
that's
kidding.
the winner. That's the winner. George Van Horn.
I just used Ryan Stone. I don't know.
I guess like okay, my middle name is William, so it would be, you could call it Bill. I would be Bill Valencia. Billy Valencia.
Yeah. Billy Valence.
I would be Matthew Royal Pine.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'll end my little rant here on a little less of a serious note. So sometimes when a girl wants that glass of water, she doesn't actually want it. She just wants to have that control of telling you to go get it. And a lot of the time, they'll do it in front of their friends, where she gives you some task and watch you run off to it. And then she'll look over to girls like, see what I get him to do? It's the female equivalent of you telling your woman to show up in a bikini and bring drinks to the guys when you're watching football. So be aware, a lot of the times when she wants something and she gets pouty.
Ooh, I like that. Wait. Hold on. Say that one more time.
Which part? When she
like what the equivalent is? What the
equivalent is. When you're with your boys watching football and you tell her to get on a bikini and come back and bring us some drinks, so you can show up to your boys how good of a woman you are.
And that's the equivalent of her doing what?
And that's the equivalent of her telling you to do some shit in front of her friends so she can show how she's got you under control.
So it's a training. It's the leash.
Now, the best one, last solution on this one, what you can do, obviously, is have a temper tantrum and say no. Then she looks at her friends and goes, isn't he an asshole? And now you're an asshole.
You must be insecure in your masculine.
And guess what? Her friends now definitely want you because you're an asshole.
Better thing you can do is charmingly tell her to go fuck herself. If you can do that with a smile on your face and a little bit of wit, you're probably closer to getting the other friends liking you more.
Listen, please leave my presence and go have intercourse with yourself.
All right, so Dirk Diggler, what you got?
Oh yeah. Chess Rockwell.
Pine Shaft.
I love that movie, man.
Mr. Pine Shaft.
Shaft Williams. Go ahead.
I don't know if you guys were calling me on to do a little intro real quick, but yeah, things are just taking off on my end, and I'm getting ready to launch the radio show on the 21st, so it's going to be in the morning in America.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to promote my man Donovan's show at night. So that's what's going to be happening on the 21st. The body language course is still being developed. Looks like it's going to be out like mid to end of February because I'm making really good quality. And yeah, that's the biggest thing is the radio show. So you guys can call in and hit me up 5 days a week.
Let's do it.
Awesome.
Okay, you have to give us one secret that one secret that women keep. Go.
Ooh,
that men don't know about.
Men don't know. Yeah, well, maybe
the secret, right? So.
I highly.
My teacher.
This is completely unethical, but I highly advise every man to do it. If you get an opportunity to go through a girl's phone, social media, email, read it, and your mind will be fucking blown. Everything you think you know, that's like the ultimate red pill.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another thing. If you're ever going through your girlfriend's phone, don't look at the text messages between her and guys. Oh, no. Look at the text messages between her and her friends, her best friend. She's going to be truthful with those people.
Her mom.
Oh, dude. Yes. Her mom. Yes. Very good.
Yep. All right. Should we fire up the phone lines, dudes?
Yep. I'm going to go ahead.
I gotta add one. I gotta add one more on there. Just to
add one while he's firing up the lines and sharing.
Okay. I was just gonna say, and this is sort of the saving the best thing. Okay. She's never going to tell you all of the details about her sexual past, just like Donovan was saying. But there are ways that you can find out about, like, the secrets that she doesn't want you to know is that you are not getting her sexual best. Okay, unless you have frame, unless you have a really strong pimp hand, unless you are the dominant, unless she sees you as the alpha that she would be widowed by had you left, what she's not going to tell you is that you're not getting her sexual best. And the reason I'm throwing this out there really quickly is because I have it's probably one of the highest traffic posts I have. It's called Saving the Best on my. I think I even put it in the third book or the second book. And it was an outline of this guy who had related this story on Reddit about how he found some like old VCR tapes or VHS tapes of his wife basically having group sex when she was in her college years, and doing all of these things like we were just talking about, doing all of these things with guys willingly, enthusiastically. These were the college years. Like, I was so crazy when I was in college. This is that. And it was probably one of the most triggering stories I think I've ever read, because it's so common. Like, so many guys, like I've had old guys, within their 60s, 70s, tell me that there is parts of their wives that they will never have access to. There are parts of them that they will never fully be, they will never fully be a part of. And there are old women who will make that confession as well. They'll tell their children or their girlfriends, will say, there's just parts of me he'll never have, because
that's been going on since the beginning of time. There's so many stories about 80, 90-year-old couples, and she will say, well, there was that one German officer during the First World War. Yeah. Well,
it's like it's the Rose effect from Titanic, remember? So she's pining away for the alpha widow. What was the guy? Jack, goes to his icy grave, whatever, and she hangs on to that diamond heart of his, and she has this great life with children and her beta husband, but he will never have what Jack had of her, and you will never have that as a guy. And that's a secret that women even now don't want to relate about. I think hypergamy right now is becoming open. I've said this countless times. In fact, I think it's pretty much a given that open hypergamy is what things are about. It used to be that hypergamy was a secret that women wanted to keep, and now they're embracing it. Now they're like, in fact, they're triumphantly laughing about it. It's something you're going to see in TV commercials. It's things that you'll see in just like kind of snide jokes about the beta husband. All that is it's a revelation of open hypergamy. And I think that's one secret that guys need to be aware of, is that hypergamy is real, and it's right there, and it's in your face if you want to see it.
Oh, but when we see a pretty girl walk by us on the street, and we want to go holler at her, and our friend's like, dude, not cool,
not cool,
bro.
Swear to God, be like, you and we're not friends anymore. So I'm gonna
go. You guys ever had a friend do that to you?
No,
I've never seen it.
Get the fuck out of here.
Well, and God, we're gonna talk about this commercial again. What they're trying to do is they're trying to get guys to police other guys. That's how lazy feminism is.
Yes.
We don't want to do this, so we're gonna say, you know what, you guys, if you want to be a real man, and we're the only source of the manhood merit badge. If you want this manhood merit badge, you have to police your friends to do what we want them to do. That's what it is.
We got a super chat here from Davey or Davy. He says, hey guys, growing up I was shy and awkward AF, so I ended up not having many friends, a social circle. I discovered the red pill 2 years ago, but I'm still struggling. Do you have any tips? I'm 23. When you ask those questions, let us know what you're struggling with. But my best advice is to keep going. I mean, yeah, it's a deep rabbit hole. The red pill doesn't start at 2 years ago and stops. You have to keep going. There's a lot of stuff to learn.
I'd say look inside. If there is a reason you don't have friends, it's probably because there's nothing useful to you for a friend. Join a sports team. Be good at it. At work, like as soon as you're good at things, people who are also good at things will tend to gravitate towards you.
We have another super chat from Javon Smiley. He says, if she sucks, let's try to do this at like PG-13 levels.
Clean it up.
If she sucks at fellatio, or won't give you to, or won't give it to you, and her friends are known as hoes, it's not a good look for you. LOL. Yeah.
It's not, yeah.
Guys, the call-in number's up, 914-205-5356. Outside the U.S., it's 001-914-205-5356. If you want to give us a dial-in, lines are open. Or if there's any haters out there that want to take us to task,
please do.
Bring it.
Hey, yeah,
Give me a ring.
Fucking narcissist doing that.
It's funny, we get all sorts of complaints. Donovan has a hair trigger temper on the phones. Yes, this is why I'm on the phones.
That's why. Right? That's why Donovan gets to run these phones.
There you go. Listen, I try to be fair-minded. Oh, we got another super chat. Redman Anonymous says, what are your techniques or tips to get from a club venue to a threesome?
Get them making out in the club.
There you go.
Start there.
Well, listen, girls are naturally attracted to one another. I mean, I've said this before. There's no such thing as a lesbian per se. All chicks prefer a dick. But women are so attractive. They're even attracted to each other. We as men, dude, we're fucking disgusting. We're all hairy. We have, you know what I mean? Like
here's the secret. You want the secret? The secret to a threesome is to make it as if it's their idea. That they were like, you're not thinking about, oh boy, I can't wait to get in there with you two. You have to make it as if that it is their idea and they came up with it. That's an old pickup artist technique, by the way.
And have some coke.
Cocaine helps things. Yeah.
Let's not dance around. Testosterone is the best way to build muscle. Coke's the best way for.
Hey, listen, me and Black
Redman Group is promoting drug use.
Drug use. No, we are not promoting drug use. We are merely pointing out the benefits of said drug use. One of which is making more than one girl horny for the same member, so to speak. if we want to keep it PG, yeah. The best way to it's very rare to pull a threesome from a club, right? It can be done. I've never done it before, but I had an in with a couple of strip clubs and it was easy for me. And by the way, never, ever, ever try to angle for a threesome with your significant other. Do it with your side chick, your fuck buddy, friend with benefits, et cetera, et cetera. All I used to do is pick up the phone, be like, yo, Stacy, or whatever the hell her name was. Hey, I've got some blow and I've got a female friend over here. I'll see you here in an hour. Dude, Stacy knows what's going down, man. And it's definitely her, and it definitely ain't me. So that's
got another super chat from Liberdad. Says, "Hey, RMG, female SMV is all about age and looks. There is no other characteristics. Where can I learn more about it? Thanks."
Yeah, age is number one. Everybody wants one girl.
On
that. Wait, he wants us to tell him how to find girls attractive?
Well, he's asking if SMV takes into effect more than just age and looks, but I think for women it's mostly looks. Like it's the optics of women. Women are sex objects or beauty objects to men. Yeah. Men are success objects to women.
Fertility and availability.
I'd only add being pleasant.
Yeah, it's not that complicated, right? I mean, like you're not getting with her, so she can buy you a new car, right?
He's asking this guy. I get this all the time on Pat Campbell's show. It's like, well, isn't there something more than just that? Like, what do you want her for? What you can
be a Michelin star chef. If I want to fuck you, I'm not trying to be in a relationship with you. Like that's a woman's sexual market value is dictated mainly by the way she looks. This is why ugly bitches don't have as many options as non-ugly bitches.
And they know this.
Got another super chat from Latino Manosphere. He says she'll never tell you the number of times she's been pregnant.
That is true. Ooh. Or how many abortions she's had.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. Excellent.
We have callers on the line?
Yeah, we got a caller on the line. Let me bring them on. Area code 904. You are on live with the Redman Group. You go ahead.
What up? It's Sport from Jacksonville, Florida, man. Good morning, y'all.
What's up, man?
I just wanted to say, as a side note, man, isn't it crazy how beautiful, women can be, and then like they are not cognizant of any concepts like filth. Like when you're coming out of the shower and you got a towel, you're not supposed to let your clean towel touch the toilet or like areas of residual urine.
Bruh.
You know, ideas like that.
Girls are just slobs, man. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
You know, that's the first thing I do when I see these pictures of these selfies of these girls in their bathroom, and they're like, "Look how hot I am." I'm looking at all this shit that's in.
Yeah,
there. And here's the thing. I'm not allowed. Like if you're living with a chick, and I don't know why you would be, but if you were living with a chick, women will always like their side of the sink is just this crazy cluster of all this, but you're not allowed to keep like a bottle of like, you know, a bottle of aftershave.
Oh, Rolo, I will one up you, man. My college neighbors, sluts on patrol, they called them the SOPs.
Mm-hmm.
Bras and panties washed in the sink, but they left them in the sink, the bathroom. They used to leave birth control lying around the table. The dishes were worse than the college guys. Girls are just slobs.
I need to get I have to throw this out there because I need to get you guys input on this. And I don't know why this bothers me, but it's like, you know, my wife is very much she works at a hospital, so she's very much a neat freak, and she's very conscious of like, you know, bacteria, and I almost want to say she's kind of hypochondriac when it comes to like germs and stuff, like germaphobe, right? But and I don't know why this is, but every woman that I know and every LTR I've ever been in, and even my mother and my daughter do the same thing. They leave that goddamn spoon when right by the coffee maker, whenever they're like stirring their creamer into the coffee, the spoon is always right. It's like, and the sink is like, you just take it and put it right over there in the sink. It is. I will go out here like right now, and the damn spoon will be right there. I guarantee you that every single woman I know leaves the creamer spoon right by the coffee maker. Why?
Ours is the only example.
Mysteries of the universe.
Yeah.
Yes, we got a super chat here from Freelance Ronan. He says, "A red pill is a life of raw truth and the pursuit of perpetual improvement. Work hard, play hard, take your red pills daily."
Okay,
that's what's up.
And it's knowing secrets.
Ronan is a TSR OG. Phone lines are open, guys. 914-205-5356. I'm putting the number in the chat. Aviator used to write for Return of Kings. And we'll get to Juan Sebastian's super chat here in a minute. I just put the link in the chat. If there's a mess on her floor, then she's probably a whore. I'm telling you right now. Listen, this is true. I've been to many women's house to fuck them. You'd be surprised at how disgusting they are. It's ridiculous. No wonder you fucked me on the first date. Your trash needs to be taken out a week ago. You got dishes in the sink with growth on them. Your fucking kitty litter box hasn't been changed in a week.
That's the worst when you get in there and it smells like a zoo. Like they've got like 5 rescue animals and keep with a kitty litter and cat barf on the floor.
Chats next.
Ugh. Who wants to hit one? I'll read it out. As far as looks for guys go, is it necessary to have a certain look to have style, or could you have a certain look that may or may not be common in society as long as it's congruent with yourself? This is kind of like a Tanner Guzzi question.
Yeah.
Who wants to hit on that?
I could chime in on the second half. As long as you have game, when you change your look, as right now, you know, I have the porn star mustache going on. Yeah. When you change your look, you attract different types of girls. So when you have game, it's all the same. It doesn't necessarily matter what you look like. Obviously, you can't become a fat slob. But if you have decent fashion, you're going out with pressed clothes, you're hitting the gym, and you have game, I mean, I wouldn't worry too much about standing out. I mean, I stand out in society every day being a foreigner in Japan, and you just got to capitalize on the eyes that you get.
Yeah. I just posted a link to an essay I have called "Have a Look." I wrote that because I had seen this one video of, I think it was Adam Carolla, and he was saying, and I agree with what he was saying here, is that women are like casting agents. Okay. They want a character. They want that guy to be like the tough brother from the street, or they want the emo guy, or they want the rock star guy. I was really good at that back in my 20s. Like I played a good character. Like that was the dude that they wanted to have. That was their fantasy sex, you know, the guy with the long hair and he's in the band. You know, that was me. There's other characters that women wanted. They want that look. That's why I called it "Have a Look." It doesn't matter what that look is. Like you can have that, you know, that you can be the buff kind of like Jack Donovan, you know, tribal kind of look, or you can be, you know, the what was it, the Cure guy, you know, you can be that dude.
Or whatever.
That's so they're looking for that. But the thing is they don't want just a guy. Okay. They don't want the guy with just like the regular job and the regular shoes and the regular, you know, who wears his Dockers and stuff like that. That's the regular guy gets punished in the sexual marketplace. Guys who have a look of some sort, they've got some sort of, you know, something interesting to them. I think it was in like Mystery is always called this like peacocking, but peacocking is just one like little element like of clothing, but there's that overall kind of and Tanner talks about this quite a bit. It's like this appearance of power, and that appearance of power can be contextualized in different ways. So that's something to keep in mind. Like women are looking for a good looking guy, don't get me wrong, but they're also looking for the context of what that guy is. And like you can be a big buff dude, right? But if you don't have any congruency between like your game and who you are and the personality that you're, if the personality that you're conveying with your look is different from your actual personality, that's when when guys who are like big buff dudes look gay, you know? Yeah. So you have to keep that in mind. Those are some things.
Let me just hit these super chats. We got Marquis Stevens. He says, preparing for divorce, have 4 kids, one on the way. What? You have another one on the way with a divorce?
Oh my God.
Okay. All with the wife making $50,000 a year. How do I start a simple side hustle? That's a long question.
First thing you do is get a DNA test.
Yeah, that's one of the things you can do.
That's number one, and then go and get a side hustle.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of guys, and I get a lot of consultations with guys. Hey, divorce is imminent, blah, 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 blah. What should I do? Well, I'm not going to get into that, but I'm going to tell you something you shouldn't do. If you know a divorce is imminent, don't fuck your wife. Don't do it. Your soon-to-be ex-wife is only fucking you to increase the child support. That's it. You see, Your Honor, I now have 7 kids with Donovan Sharp, so I should get set. No, do not fuck your wife.
There's no bigger victim than the pregnant girl, too.
Oh my God, get out of here with that. Quit.
The pregnant single mommy getting divorced.
Okay, here's a sad fact of life is what do you think more unplanned pregnancies occur from? From date night? Or from, oh my God, we're breaking up.
Oh my God, we're breaking
and I
up.
want to have sex with you as bad as I've ever wanted to before, even though I haven't been fucking you before.
I've lost two friends
which
like
one
that,
has?
Man. Yeah, the latter.
Exactly.
Sure.
You need to understand, and this is here's another real secret, is that you're going to have to, if you're in a breakup phase, or if you don't know if things are going to work out, don't have like Donovan said, don't have sex with that girl, because first of all, she's motivated to have sex with you for 2 reasons. One is like it's that competition anxiety, and that's motivated by dread, and then there's also the motivation to have that kid to lock you down.
Boom.
I have a friend that when he was going through his divorce, already had a kid, and his wife during the time of the separation wanted to get knocked up with another kid. And he was like, you won't even let me have custody of the one that I've got right now. You want to have another one? Like, this is the thinking, like there's no rationality behind it. We got a super chat from Mooney. He said, Rollo, when's the hardcover versions of your books coming out?
Hardcover, I am working something. I'm doing a re-edit of the first book right now. I've got like 2 guys helping me out with the edits for it, because I needed to reformat it a little bit more. I've got to make the type a little bit bigger. I think just to recap it real quick is I never thought I was going to write more than 1 book, and so like I crammed as much crap as I could into the first Rational Male book, and I made the type probably a little too small, but it's become the Red Pill Bible, and it has exploded to the point where I really need to go back and take care of like some of the spelling errors and some of the grammatical, syntax and all that kind of stuff. And as a result of that, I've been looking for ways to do a hardback, and I've got 2
leather bound book, like
I would
nice medieval style leather bound book.
If I wasn't self-published, I would do that, but I am working with Barnes & Noble will do hardback, and then there's Lulu that will do hardback. So once that editing is done, I would probably by middle of this year, I think we'll have a hardback.
All right, let me just clear out these 2 super chats, and then we'll get to the calls. Steve the Pilot says, this week Jack Donovan brought up the fact that most states have laws barring gun ownership for people who have mental health problems. What are your guys' thoughts on this with the APA guidelines?
Oh yeah, that's what I was. I can talk about this real quick.
Connected. Those are connected. If
they are very much connected.
Diagnosed with toxic masculinity, we can't let you have a gun. That's what
that was. And I'm going to give credit where credit's due. Turd Flinging Monkey said this on his show. Is that there is a connection between wanting to make toxic masculinity a disorder or a psychological disorder and gun control.
There it
Because
is.
what they will do is they'll say, well, you're insane because you are toxically masculine, or you believe in traditional masculinity, and therefore we need to take your guns away because you are certifiably clinically insane according to the APA. And I realize that people are going to say that's a stretch. That's a stretch
No,
now.
not a stretch.
It will be a stretch. Well, and the only reason I say it's not a stretch is because what was the first? I can remember when Nicholas Cruz did that shooting, and there's some other, like, whenever there's a mass shooting, you'll see this will jump up again. Michael Moore was saying something to the effect of, men should not be allowed a licensed gun unless their significant other, unless their girlfriend or their wife gives them the approval to have that gun in the house. That's what he wanted. He wanted to initiate legislation for that because, well, they're just going to use it against women, right?
Of course.
And so again,
that guy needs somebody to police his
control.
Kentucky Fried Chicken consumption, and he can shut the hell up.
I 100% agree with that. I think it might be a little premature, but I 100% agree with the link.
Let me just say this: there was somebody that got some stats together on that shooting thing, and I think it was the number was something like 26 out of 27 of the last mass shootings were from men that came from a home without a biological father. So let that, you can stick that in your pipe and smoke it. One last super chat, and then we'll go to the calls. What is Hokibusa? Hokibusa. He says, or take the dread sex, but wrap it up and send her a message. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Let's hop into the calls.
All right, 914-205-5356 is the number to call if you want to get in on the show. One last thought about the guns. If you go into a store to buy a gun, if you have a beard and you appear to have body fat under 15%, they're not going to sell it to you because you're toxically masculine. All right, let's go to area code 504. That's Baton Rouge, isn't it? You're on live with the Red Man Group. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, fellas? Quick background. I'm gonna jump right into it.
All right.
I am 31, dating a female who is 25, and I come from a really traditional family home with a mother and father, still married together. And she comes from a single mother home. Her father left her at 2. Question is, she's been raised to, to be very career oriented, to be very self-driven. But I see these signs from the outside, but deep down inside, I feel she's different. In other words, like, she wants to be more homey, caretaking, things of that nature. But on the surface, it's just been, she's so deeply ingrained with the career, strong, independent vibe from her mother's indoctrination. So question is, she's recently been into the workforce, and she works for herself as an accountant. And she works for a very wealthy 60 to 70-year-old engineer man, and he's wealthy. So my question is, we're talking about secrets women hold from men. What are some signs that I should be aware of if she could possibly, be, I don't want to be cheating or...
Oh, no, say it, because that's where this is headed, right?
Yeah, all those signs you just talked about were pretty big ones, so I'd start with those.
Yeah. Check this out. This is real simple, right? So you're 30, 31, she's 25. How long have you been with her?
I've been knowing her for 4 months. So
okay.
And sorry, she's a single mother too?
No, I think she was raised by a single mom.
She was raised by a single mother.
Home.
Listen, check this out. I'm going to make one statement. I want you to listen and listen good, and you're not going to want to hear this. It is a mathematical inevitability that she is going to cheat on you. That's how it is. She has daddy issues. She was raised by a single mother. She's career oriented. And when she goes and works out in the workforce, she's going to be constantly surrounded by higher value men. Listen, this is how it is. It's not
She's already hanging out with Steve in accounting.
She's already hanging out with Kevin in sales, Steve in accounting, right? Dave in the warehouse. They all want to bang her. Like, this is what's going to happen. And eventually she is going to succumb to that. And she's probably a pretty good looking girl, isn't she?
Right.
Yeah, you can't save her, man. She has no process. She has no structure built around her life. She just doesn't know any better. And you can go through that risky slog of trying to train her. But when in doubt, she's going to go with what she knows. And all she knows right now is that shit that she was raised with.
When women are raised by single mothers and there's an absent father in the household, or he was a piece of furniture and didn't pay attention to his daughter, they have daddy issues, and you can get into a relationship with them. But why would you want to waste your time? They don't value men. They don't value masculinity. You're disposable. Their mother treated the father as a disposability. I mean, that same behavior is going to be mimicked again.
Wait, what did you say, caller?
She's never seen the healthy opposite side of the spectrum of you know, like the proper healthy relationship dynamics between a man and a female.
You got to get out. You got to
And
get
I
out,
think
dude.
she's becoming exposed.
Played him. Don't date him.
She's starting to become
Done.
exposed to that.
Next
Here,
caller.
would you hire somebody who's never done your job before? That you're hiring them
good question.
for?
Would you hire
Say again?
someone who's never done your job before?
That's a great question.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I get your point.
Yeah. The answer is no. Thanks for the call. Area code 504. We've got 6 others in the queue. I'm going to try to mow through these as soon as possible. I hate cutting people off, but it's necessary.
Yeah,
Area code 407. You're on live with the Redman Group. Go ahead.
Thanks for that $20 chat.
Yes.
Hey guys, I had a question about frame today.
Let's do it.
All right, so I'm pretty sure I've never had frame, and I was wondering about how to deal with that. When I was growing up, of course, I was in my parents' frame. And then when I moved out and came to Orlando, I followed a friend and I lived in his frame for several number of years. And now I'm in a relationship and I'm in her frame. So I need to figure out how to have a frame and take control of it.
This is all Rollo right here, man.
Mental point of origin. That's the first thing you
There you go. You got to be selfish, dude.
Well,
Like,
I mean that's the simple way of saying it. I mean, yeah, you can be selfish. You need to start thinking. What you need to do is you need to change your mind about yourself. Is what you need to do. Is you need to first of all, when you think of things, and just from your background, and I'm going to make some presumptions here, but just from your background, from what you said, I think that you tend to put other people's interests above yours, and there's no shame in that. There's a lot of guys who do exactly that because that's what they've been taught for pretty much their whole lives, especially religious guys. They're taught to have a servant's heart, right? They're supposed to think of others before they think of themselves, like do unto others. Well, they think they're supposed to think of others before they think of themselves. And when we're taught that from a very early age, that ends up sort of coloring the relationships that we have for the rest of our lives. So when I say you need to develop mental point of origin, what that means is that the first thought when you're making decisions or when you're going to do something, like you said, I followed a guy to Orlando and I was in his frame. Well, because that guy had a vision, or because that guy was thinking of himself before he was thinking of you. He was thinking, here's what we're going to do. And you thought, oh, well, that sounds like a good idea. I'm kind of directionless, so I'm going to go and look for that direction. I think a lot of guys in the quote unquote lost boys generation do exactly the same thing. That's why they're looking for somebody like Jordan Peterson or Tony Robbins or whoever to sort of give them that direction, because they don't have that, because they were never taught mental point of origin. The mental point of origin is not just, oh, be selfish. Oh, just think of yourself first. That's not it. What it is it's making it your reflexive thought. So most kids, most boys are taught to defer to the feminine, defer to mommy, defer to the female teacher, because they mostly have female teachers, defer to the girlfriend, be supportive, don't be a toxically masculine prick, lift her up, follow her, make her needs your needs, put her needs before your needs. And so what they end up doing is they end up making these really good followers, but women want leaders. They want that dominant guy who's thinking of themselves. And yeah, that sometimes that makes you an asshole. Sometimes that makes you a selfish prick. And I think that a lot of guys, they want to avoid the name tag of asshole. They want to avoid the jerk, qualifications, when in fact thinking about yourself and putting yourself first in your mental process is the first part of that. So what I call this, and it's actually not me that came up with this, but it's called enlightened self-interest. I can't help others until I can help myself, or I can't help others unless I can help myself. I can't help them as well as when I help myself first. So what I would suggest doing is start cultivating, just thought process and saying, how does this affect me before it affects other people? Because right now, most guys that tell me this, and you have a very common story. How do I develop frame? Frame starts with making yourself your mental point of origin and deciding for yourself where you want to go. I did this, and guys do this all the, guys who follow me or guys who read my book, they've done this as well. As once they start doing that, once they start being more self-concerned and more self-important, they'll find that they have changes in their lives. And all it really comes, I hate to, this sounds like really woo-woo, tea leaves kind of Zen shit.
Yeah, true.
But when you start putting yourself as your first thought in your decision-making process and in your mental processes, that's what I mean by mental point of origin. When you do that, you will find that people will follow along with you because they're looking for direction. They're looking for somebody to tell them what to do. Women are always looking for that dominant male who has a direction, who has some sort of goal or some sort of, something that they want to be associated with. He's ambitious. Maybe he wants to be, he's got some goals. Yeah, he's got a vision, but they're looking for that direction, just like you are. You're looking for direction. That's why you're following along with this, and that's why you don't have frame.
Ooh,
that's where frame comes along. It was mental point of origin.
Thanks for the super chat, Ricky Bobby. Appreciate it.
Ricky Bubby. All right, let's go to area code 786. You are on with the Red Man Crew.
Hey, how's it going? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. I wanted to do a quick comment on the Gillette commercial, and then I have a question. I've noticed on Facebook or any other social media site, most of the guys that are like protecting the Gillette advertisement, they look like slobs. They're like, all of them are fat. There was this one guy that his wife was brunette hair.
Yeah.
Because they see that as a way to make themselves extraordinary.
And his two kids, they were blonde. They looked like they were from a different father. So,
wow.
But that shouldn't matter, man, because it doesn't matter who the father is. You're stepping up, man.
Yeah, you're stepping up and taking care of those kids. Because some asshole left her. Get the fuck out of here.
Now, again, I'm this is my second time calling into the show. I was actually the amateur porn guy.
Oh, I remember you.
All right.
Yeah.
And by the way, what's your porn star name?
What's your porn star name?
Oh, no.
Tell me what to look you up.
Chest Rock.
Blake Steak.
Dick Steele.
Oh, I couldn't hear it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Actually, I was telling Rich about this because I came inside of a feminist. I was thinking of the name Plan B Ryan for like the Plan B pill.
Good. I like it.
Yeah. But my question is this, and it's mainly for Rolo. Rolo, because I know you say, try to vet for like a woman that has a good history with her dad, that they have a good family. So, this girl, she has great relationship with her parents. She's younger than me. She's 22 right now. She just turned 22. She's going to college. She's doing all these great things. But should I be worried that she is as accepting to the porn thing? Because I know you want.
Yeah.
Real quick, hold on.
Why is this my question?
College. She's going to college. Is she going to a 4-year school?
No. Well, I mean, yeah, she's going to a university. But,
oh,
I mean,
there it is.
I'm not stressed about it.
No,
And
listen, bruh.
Additionally,
How old are you?
You should be.
well, no, I just turned 27. But again, I'm not like the story. I'm not so concerned about losing her because again,
you are.
I spin plates.
Yeah, John's right. You are.
Yeah, he doesn't care about her when he's talking to us about her.
No, my question is for future women, in case there's a future woman, right?
Okay.
Because I want to own my own porn site, right?
Yeah.
That's really like
You need to talk to Cobra Tate.
But I'm saying, but my question is, should I be worried about the girl that breaks every rule for you? Like, is that a sign of psychological trauma, or you want that, like the woman that breaks?
Oh, because you're damaged. Any girl who likes you has to be damaged. Is that your thing? Just stop overthinking it, man. Just watch what she does. If she does stuff, if she crosses a boundary, enforce a boundary. If the boundary's too much of a boundary, then you just leave. Don't overcomplicate it.
That's not a problem. Yeah, that's not a problem.
It's a good thing, man. You want girls submitting to you, changing themselves for you. Eventually, it gets to the point where they're tattooing your name on themselves.
Yeah,
so.
that's what Tate tats.
Yeah, and that's true. They do that in the pimp game too. So like. If girls are submitting to you, if girls are listening to you, and they're like breaking their way for you, like you're ruling with an iron pimp hand. Just keep doing what you're doing and just live the dream, bro. You are living the dream. Do it.
If that's the case,
I have one of them. I kid you not. I have a girl that wants to fuck me right now, and I told her the only way I'll fuck her is if she sends a snap of me fucking her to her boyfriend, and she agreed.
Wow.
Just throwing that out there, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Secrets women keep. There you go.
Thanks for the call, area code 786. And here's a word of wisdom. If you do get with a girl who you think is the real deal while you own this porn company, and she fucks around on you because she probably will, no problem. You can actually add her to the cast. Hey, listen, I know we just broke up, and I know you just cheated on me, but got a business proposition for you. Why don't you come over to my house tonight? we'll talk some things over. Listen,
way-
listen, you can literally just recruit your ex-girlfriends to just be to be porn stars. So they fucked you over. Now you can use them for porn stars and make money. I like it.
By the way, I was just going to say, that 20-year-old girl that sent you the snap of herself banging her boyfriend so she could get with you, she's going to be the same girl in 15 years that has, baby on board sticker on the back of her minivan.
That's it.
Yeah, that's funny. I one of the ways I think it was one of the first things I ever heard from Tom Likas. He did a show one time where he was asking women to call in, but they had to be like 35 or so. And it was it was kind of like this show right here with the secrets that women keep. And one of the things is that these women want to call in. They're desperate to call in to and say and talk about how crazy they were when they were younger, when they're like 20, most of them were 35. When they were 25, 22, they were just dying to call in and talk about, well, I had a threesome on this, and I fucked a hot guy in the foam cannon party in Cancun. Then that's they can't keep that secret. Remember, women talk and men do. So that's the one thing I wanted to add on to this whole episode, is that if you listen to women and you watch women, they can't keep a secret. Actually, no human can keep a secret, but they can't keep that secret. They want to talk about it. And if you listen to her, you don't even have to go through a woman's phone. You don't even have to you just have to be a good listener, in the sense that you have to listen to accept what she's saying.
884 people watching. I think we're going to crack 1,000 here within the next month or so. Go ahead, Ryan. You were saying something.
I was just going to say, how many times have we had some Twitter beef with some girl ranting on something Rolo did or something I said or Rich, and then halfway through it, she starts bringing out the daddy, like the exact issues that we're commenting on, and it's just weird. You just got to let them talk. You just 5 minutes ago, you'll find out exactly what they're telling you. Not all women are like that. Yeah, that was them, and now they feel bad.
Okay, excellent. All right, 914-205-5356 is the number to call to get in on the show. Let's go to area code 310. You're on live at the Red Man Group. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah.
Rolo, I know you've been a musician and stuff, so maybe you'll relate to this a bit. But sometimes, you think that people, discover the red pill or the blue pill and hypergamy and the sexual imperative of females, and they find it maybe revolting or scary or saddening, or they don't want to deal with it, so they sort of slip back into sort of a blue pill, or what you might refer to as a purple pill. But one thing I thought, as far as secrets being revealed, that is so illuminating, I noticed this just a couple months ago. We needed to call into you guys and talk to you about it, but our love songs. When you listen to love songs, and it doesn't really mind, the era doesn't matter. It could be the 40s, mostly the 70s, but you'll hear if it's a woman singing the song, and she'll be singing about a man who is an alpha male, who is not treating her right, who is leaving her, abusing her, neglecting her,
and she can't get enough,
playing by all of his rules, and she cannot get enough.
That's right.
And the whole song is about that. It's always about, I need him back. I know he mistreats me.
I know he's bad for me, but I can't help it. I love him.
Have you guys noticed that the newer songs have things like Ariana Grande, where she's like, "Thank you, next," and it's glorifying like carousel riding?
Oh, no, I haven't heard that one yet, but that doesn't surprise me. Ariana Grande is the quintessential example of a girl who looks innocent, who is a raging whore. Taylor Swift is another one. Like, if you look at Taylor Swift, you're like, wow, she doesn't look like she gobbles, 50 cocks a week, yet here she does.
Taylor Swift is famous for writing really good songs about her ex-boyfriends.
Oh, of course.
So that ought to tell you something. Yeah, I agree 100%. I think that one of the toughest things, especially as a musician, when you unplug, is you can't listen to music the same way that you used to before.
Me either.
Yeah, you can't watch different movies anymore. I mean, that's the red pill lens. But like as a musician, and then what will kill you is like, if you were blue pill and you were a musician and you were writing, so you were a songwriter, you'll go back and go, what the fuck was I thinking? You'll look at your own lyrics and you'll go, oh, I can't believe I actually thought that. But yeah, I mean, especially the 70s, somewhere in the 80s, I think is pretty good too. You really, guys have hit me up and they've said, you need to do a post or an essay of some sorts on lyrics, on song lyrics. I'm like, there's too many. I can't just, because I would like throw like 2 or 3 out there and people will go, oh, here's 10 more, here's 20 more. They'll just like that. But I will say this though, and I'll just finish with this, is that when you see the differences in songwriting between women and men, you will look at men as mostly beta, willing to accept, I want you back. I can't, baby, come back, that kind of shit. That will be, that will pretty much define men's idealistic ideal for love. That's why I always say, I've said this a million times, so women are opportunists when it comes to love, and men are idealists when it comes to love. And you will not find any clearer an illustration than in the songs that women and men sing.
I'm going to sum it up with this post. I think I shared this with you, Rollo, but there was a guy in my men's community that just finished reading your 3 books, and he said at the end, I love Rollo's work, but I'm going to send him a bill for all the music I got to throw out.
Now you know why I listen to Slayer.
We can't listen to music or watch TV the same. I can't even watch commercials on TV without running my mouth. And Devin's always like, Donovan, we know, just watch. I'm like, all right. But I have to say something about it. Like, you cannot watch. I'm like, oh, see, here we go. The feminine imperative. And Devin's like, oh God, hey, listen, be mad at me. I'm just saying, like, you see it.
I do the same thing, man. I do the exact same thing.
Terrible. I get on my own nerves with that nonsense.
We got a super chat. Let's just deal with that real quick. He says, $10. Thank you for that. He says, I'm a 24-year-old virgin, social anxiety, especially with women. I'm looking good lately, and I'm getting lots of approaches, signals at work, school. Is it safe to bang casually, or where's a good place to start?
Yeah, Tinder.
You need to read Rollo's first book like 5 times.
Not work.
Yep. Do not listen. Alan Roger Curry
never work.
Said at the 21 convention last year, don't get laid where you get paid. And here is another edict that I put down. If you start fucking a coworker, what's going to happen is after that relationship ends, between 6 months to a year, either one or both of you will not be with that same company. There's never a workplace where somebody's giving you a tour. Oh yeah, there's Cheryl and Bob. Yeah, they're ex-husband or ex-wife, or yeah, they dated but they broke up. That's never around, because either one or both are no longer with the company, and it's usually the guy.
Rodrigo made an observation. Thank you for the super chat. He says, are there any rappers that are pretty beta or less than alpha? You see it happen like when they get married, like when Jay-Z married up with Beyonce. You saw it change quite a bit.
Yeah, Jay-Z has gone completely blue pill, but I think he does that. I think he does that as a brand, because listen, Jay-Z's got side bitches all around. I think that's all.
We got another super chat from Mr. TXB. He says, tell her you're working on your pilot's license and take her up with you and your instructor.
I just want to comment on that rapper thing. I want to say Drake is just absolutely the biggest beta male. I'm like, rap used to be a signal of like peak alpha masculinity, killing people, robbing people, fucking other people's women.
Ice Cube, the West Side Connection. Oh yeah,
that's like.
And then Drake comes along and he's singing about, "Oh, I love you so much, I miss you every day." Blah blah blah. That's not how real alpha men think.
It's X.
What's that song that Drake did? Feelings or something. Oh my God. I love you. That one.
Drake's lyrics will turn you gay.
It really will. Drake's lyrics will turn you gay.
I like me better when I'm with you. Are you kidding me? I like me. Period. I don't need you. Yes, your face looks better when it's wrapped around my dick, but that's the only improvement I can see. Like, give me rainbow dick and get the fuck out of my place.
Oh, okay, that was pretty good.
All right.
Before you go to that call, so Drake in My Feelings song, he's like, I love you and I miss you and all that sort of thing. And then some chick comes on and she's like, yeah, but do you have bank? You know the line I'm talking about. It's like, I'm looking for the lyrics.
Well, of course, Drake has bank, and Drake is.
Look at that!
Oh, Chris Vaughn, Eric,
bam!
He
Immediate
said,
read. Go
Long Island. You do tremendous work. I do hope to contribute to male improvement in my own way in the future. Appreciate that.
Excellent.
CVE, Chris Von Eric. Very nice.
Create a group where you live. Create a rational male group. I've got so many guys that are coming up to me saying, I want to create a group where I'm at.
Put out videos, create content, start a podcast, start a blog, like just, share your experiences.
Yeah. And then bring your group to the 21 convention once a year.
Oh, that'd be awesome. All right.
It's an information war. So just, create as much content as you can. If you're out there, just create a blog, create a, book, podcast, the whole 9 yards. That's how we're going to win this whole thing. It's just an information war. We're on the side of truth.
Yeah.
We got a good super chat question here from Juan Sebastian. He said, I heard Rollo say that I listened to Slayer as I was playing Hella Weights on my guitar. Says, Rollo, what do you think of them after Jeff died and Dave left? Wow, that is a good question.
Yeah, Jeff was good. I like him still. I like Repentless. I forget, that might even be the name of the album right now. I think they're like on their last tour though. I think this might be it for them. I saw them in 2016 actually here in Reno, and then I'm planning if they come back to Sacramento, I might go see them again. But I still dig them. I don't think they have ever. The best thing about Slayer is they have never changed their sound. They've always been Slayer. They never with none of this Metallica crap where it's like they did the Black Album and they kind of went pop or they went top 40. I mean, these guys are serious and they are committed to their own sound, and they've always been Slayer and they've always been good. So yeah.
All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Area code. Wow, this is more calls. This is good. Area code 325. Thanks for holding. You're on live at the Redman Group. Go ahead.
Hey guys, what's going on? I just wanted to ask a question about one of the secrets, because I think one of the secrets that like women seem to really hold on to that they may not even be aware of is that they lie to themselves to avoid judgment, to justify behavior, or for whatever their motivation is. But it seems like they may not even be aware of that secret, that they lie to themselves.
That's a good observation.
Well, that would absolve them of blame. That's good.
I dated this girl when I was like 20 that was a pathological liar, and she would construct such a fucking house of cards of stories that when the whole thing came collapsing down, it was just an entire train wreck, dude. I mean, like, yeah, it happens, and there's some that are really bad at it, but 100%, yeah.
Anybody else?
No, I get this question a lot of times. Is like, guys will say, aren't women aware of their own behaviors? Like, how can they do what they do? Like, they can't believe it because men, and this
they are aware, but this is why the rationalization hamster exists. Women can't rationalize what they don't, what they're not aware of.
Yeah, well, and I've written several essays on this about like the intent. Like you have to look at the latent purpose of what a woman's actions are, because she's going to do this kind of stuff. Like when we talk about the epiphany phase, right? And I say, a woman wants to get right with God, and she wants to do things different, and she wants to, I'm done with the bad boys. I learned my lesson, and I want a guy. I'm going to make this guy wait because I don't want him to think I'm easy, and I want to do things the right way now that I'm 28 years old or 29 years old, because the latent purpose of that is she knows she can't stay on the carousel that much longer. But is that woman like, is she going, I'm going to get these guys? Is she thinking that? No, she's not. She probably actually feels that way. She probably actually thinks, I really need to get right with God. I'm done with those bad boys. She honestly probably feels that way. But again, she's lying to herself, or she doesn't want to see the convenience of that. She doesn't want to see that that's a social convention that she is forced into because of her situation. And that is her ego and her id at that time sort of warring with each other. The id wants the hot alpha guy in the foam cannon party in Cancun, whereas the ego knows that she has to get into a more stable relationship with a guy, and that means a less exciting guy most of the time. And she's going to have to make some compromises. She's going to have to prioritize her sexuality a little bit more differently than she was able to before. And some women can't come to that. Some women, those are the women that get to be like 36, 38 years old, and I never wanted to settle for this guy. Well, that's why you're lonely, and you have cats, and you're drinking box wine on a weekend night. But I think that honestly, they believe this. Honestly, women believe the bullshit. They believe they can have it all. They believe that I don't think that a lot of women, maybe there's some women who like gold diggers, for instance, maybe they understand the game better than other women and they play it, and they overtly acknowledge that they're playing that game. But I would say the majority of women honestly believe in what they say, even though it's really just functionally, the truth of it is the functionality and the latent purpose behind it.
I will add to this. Yeah. Two things you got to assume with this. Assume she knows, and assume she won't admit it. Because the problem with the way this plays out is if that a guy really wants to believe that she doesn't know what she's doing, that she's just a child, she's invalid, or whatever excuses you want to come up with, and they use that as an excuse to put up with it. So the better solution for this, whether it's true or not, when she starts giving you these lies, assume she knows she's lying, and assume she would rather die than tell you that. So don't even try to ask to get her to admit it. That's just some weird validation seeking thing from you. Just act accordingly. If she's giving you this big, like, how did you put it, Rich, with the weaving the story and
House of Cards? They just weave
the
like a
House of
big
Cards.
elaborate
If
story.
she's playing the House of Cards, just knock it over and get on with your day. Don't even worry about asking if that the Ace of Clubs, is that the Jack of Hearts. It's really not worth the effort.
Got a super chat here from Ann Diddy. I'm not sure what that acronym. Anyways, it says the most red pill music is dancehall 2011 and earlier. Vibes, Cartel, Donia, Mavido, to name a few artists, is far more red pill than early rap.
Okay, well, so I mean,
Super chat.
measuring contest. This isn't comparison. I've never heard of those guys before, but listen, dude. More recently, back in 2014, Chris Brown dropped a single called "Loyal." These hoes ain't loyal. That's red pill to the fucking core. And dude, I'll say it again: NWA, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, early Rakim, Nas, all those guys. That's all 1,000% red pill. So
Doggy Style was probably one of the best.
Was more red pill than that. They weren't blue pill. That's
these guys are the guys in the chat are talking about like
hell yeah.
These guys are talking about like old school punk rock. I agree. Yeah, old school punk rock was very red pill, but now it's gone super pop or it's hard left right now. So
the real song I think that's really red pill and also seduction related is "Sweet Dreams" by Eurythmics. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused by you. That's the reality of dating right there. Getting in where you fit in.
Jesus. Yeah. Wow. Red pill to the max. Let's go back to the phone lines. Area code 561. Been holding for 27 minutes. Thanks for calling. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. Bobby from Michigan. Had the pleasure of meeting you guys at the 2018 21 convention. I'd like to meet you again this year.
Good. Oh, good. Very good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So quick, if I could share a quick tip, and then I had a question for Rolo. I'd love to hear his take on it. I promise I'll keep it under 40 seconds. I know you guys got other callers, but I'm more of an LTR guy. And with my LTR, I feel like in this day and age, you have to put safeguards in place to prevent secrets from happening in the first place. And this is one thing I really agree with Donovan on, is requiring access. Two things: requiring access to your woman's phone and demanding that she not have any guy friends. And the reason I say that, guys, some people think, oh, that's blue pill, that's beta.
That's possessive, that's insecure.
To be willing to walk away if she doesn't give that up. And here's a funny story. I actually told my girl, I said, listen, I want access to your phone. I want access to your Facebook Messenger. She played the privacy card on me, and this will work really well, guys. This really decaffeinates their hamster.
Listen up.
I said, babe, listen, you go on Facebook Live. You take pictures every time we're out on a date of the food we're eating. You don't care anything about privacy when it comes to Facebook, but all of a sudden, when it comes to checking your phone, you play the privacy.
Now you want to be private. Yes.
And it's never been an issue since. So
I love it
with you guys. But and the other thing too, when they hit you with the insecure part about the guy friends, I'll say actually guys who don't make that an issue are insecure because they're afraid to rock the boat. I will walk if you don't give up your guy friends.
Bam.
You know? So Rolo, I wanted to get your opinion on this, Rolo.
All right.
I think since 2007, this might be like an Evo bio or Evo site question. I'd love to hear your take. I think since 2007, when the smartphone was invented, that it created issues with relationships that are permanent. And that's where secrets happen.
Oh, yeah.
Smartphones. So what's your take on that? Because I feel like you have to have boundaries that you didn't have to have even 15 years ago.
Yes.
If you LTR.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
Great call. Area code 571. That's the call of the day, man.
I have two things to say. First, I'll just to address your first part. Yeah, definitely. The technology that we have today, and it doesn't even have to be a smartphone. I mean, it can be just what we're doing right now. Doing a podcast and collecting guys together to talk about, compare notes kind of thing. That was something that was taboo for a very long time. Like I can remember when the only place you could find a book about like how to get girls was like in the back of a Hustler magazine, right? Like you had, here's this thing that says how to get girls. Yeah, that was the only way you could do that. And then like when forums started, internet forums started coming up, and then you had like SoSuave and you had Alt Fast Seduction and you had some of these other ones. That's when guys started collecting, and that's really, I think, was the the point in history, probably right around the early 2000s, when things started to shift away from the feminine imperative, because I see the 90s as kind of like the apex years for feminism and the feminine imperative, because men were ignorant. They were as ignorant as they've ever been, and feminism was as powerful as it has ever been. And so once we were able to sort of come together as a community and start comparing notes, women couldn't keep those secrets anymore. And that's when you started to see the rise of open hypergamy. That's when women are like, okay, you got us. We can't say one way, we can't say otherwise, because there's a million guys all over the world who are comparing notes, and they see the writing on the wall. So what do? They embraced it. And now you see it as it's a joke, or it's in I just watched The Incredibles with my daughter not too long ago. It's like, it's nothing but open hypergamy, and even in kids shows right now.
Yes.
And so so what that marks is this period in time where the intersexual dynamics shifted, and women had to sort of embrace the secret of hypergamy and say, well, yeah, we've always been hypergamous, and if you're not on board with that, then you're not a real man. It's the same thing you're talking about in 2007 when smartphones started to come around. Yeah, that changed the landscape as well. Tinder changed the landscape. Yep. Really, my blog, blogs in general, changed the landscape. Right. The interconnectivity that we have. I mean, we have a globalized sexual marketplace now because of the internet. And as a result of that, a lot of the old secrets can't be secrets anymore. That's one of the reasons we're talking about them right now. I imagine trying to have this conversation with people back in like 1998, right, or 1999. It's not going to happen. But now we can do that. And so, yeah, it's definitely changed that landscape. So that's part number one. And we need to contend with that. It's interesting to me because, like, when I'm talking to my daughter about dating, or I'm talking to like my nephew about dating and what he's going through as well, these are issues that, like, these are secrets that have been revealed to him at a young age. Pornography, online porn we have access to pornography like we have never had before. I just read a story about some chick who had like internal injuries because she was trying to replicate some porn she'd seen where like three guys were having anal sex with her. What? And that, I mean, yeah, somebody sent me this thing. It might have been in Australia or something like that.
Three dudes tried to stick.
Three dudes,
wow.
Triple penetration anal, and she got injured. Well, of course you're going to get injured, right?
Oh, dude, she's got to be running pens until she
does. And the girl was 16
Why don't you just use a bowling
old.
pin or something?
Wait, hold on.
How old was 16 years old?
Oh my God. Yes. Oh my God.
Yes. And so that is okay. Well, how does she get this in her head? Online pornography. We have access to this guy. We have, like, a kid of 10 years old has access to a sexuality that only like emperors and kings had back in the day. Right now, you can see that whatever, whenever, however you want to see it. That's another thing. Like, the next generation, we're looking at the next generation who's been raised on the internet and raised on the social media and raised on connectivity. I say this all the time as well, is that women's social media is every bit as brain altering as pornography can be to guys. It changes the way that they think. We always say these bitches have like these overinflated egos. Well, yeah, because they're online all the time and they're getting a constant stream of attention, a constant stream of go girl. They're getting a constant stream of like believing that their sexual market value should be like 10 points higher than it actually is. And they believe this stuff. And so consequently, we're seeing more and more women, 36, 38 years old, who are freezing their eggs and they just haven't found the right guy. Well, the right guy's not there because you have these unrealistic ideas of what the world is like. So yeah, it is definitely creating a whole new world and a whole new landscape. I'm glad we're here to talk about this now. I think that the Red Pill, and particularly the Red Man Group and 21 Conviction, we're perfectly positioned to be talking about this right now. At some point, we'll end up going mainstream, and we'll end up having this conversation, and we're not going to be very popular, I'm sure, because people are going to be hating on us, but we're going to tell the truth. And I think it's a necessary conversation that we need to have. Now, the other question that you had was, should I mate guard her? Should I set boundaries? And I think, yes, you should set boundaries, but the way that I would suggest you do it is you demonstrate. You do not explicate. So if the woman wants to go out on her girls' night out, you let her go on her girls' night out. But if that's beyond your boundaries, you show her what those boundaries are. You say, you know what, you decided that that's what you wanted to do. So all your shit is on the curb when you come home, All right. You have to have, and that's just one easy illustration. You have to have enforceable consequences for those actions. And if there aren't, then you're gone. If your boundary is, I want to see what's on your phone, then if she doesn't hand it to you, you have to enforce that consequence. You cannot have an ultimatum. An ultimatum is just a declaration of powerlessness. Because if you're all talk and you'd have nothing to back it up with, then that's when I say you're just as beta as anybody else.
Okay,
I just want to chime in on that too. Just double down what I said. It's unethical, or it's not cool or whatever, but trust me, check the girl's phone, check her social media. Just look. If you really want to learn about female nature and you think you know a girl, check her phone. And if you catch her, you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't see anything, you probably have yourself like a actually decent girl on your hands, which is pretty rare. But definitely check her stuff and your mind will be blown out.
Consequences. There need to be real consequences.
All right, let's do one more call before we wrap up.
Let's do it. Area code 313. You're on live with the Red Man Group. Go ahead.
Hey guys, how's it going? Just want to say appreciate what you're doing. Didn't grow up with any males around me, so I have a deep appreciation for this. So thanks a lot.
Absolutely, yeah.
I had 3 quick questions. Cool. I had 3 quick questions I wanted to ask, and I'll get out of your way. I'm spinning plates right now, so 36. What age range should I be dating? And my second question is, what are some ways to increase social status, like at least on a local level, like say within the city, at least limits or whatever? And third question is, what's your thoughts on the Way of the Superior Male book?
Okay, I've got 2 quick questions for the first 2 questions, and then you guys can hop in.
I'll jump on the last.
Okay, the answer to your first question is, what dating range should you be looking at? 18 and older. That's it. Date girls as young as 18 years old, as long as you want. Don't worry about bitches calling you pedophiles, because the bitches that are calling you pedophiles, guess what? They were fucking 32-year-olds when they were 16 and 17 years old as well. The answer to your second question is Facebook. Social media, right? The thing is this, especially when you're dating any woman, young, hot girls especially, the only currency that young, hot girls respect, unfortunately, is social media. They could see everything right in front of them as far as you're concerned. But if they go to social media and it's not there, in their mind, it didn't happen. If it's not on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, if it's not there, it didn't happen. They could see your car. Doesn't matter. It's not on social media. It didn't happen. So those are the answers to your first 2 questions.
Didn't Roosh write a post about social influence being the new currency like 5 or 10 years ago, like one of his older posts?
Yes. Fame plus looks is going to be a necessity.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, like if you're a DJ, I mean, like if you have any kind of social influence or pull, definitely, you want to signal that. But I mean, you can't manufacture it. I mean, it's not like you can go to a conference hall, rent the stage and a high quality photographer and then get them to get down low and make it look like you're standing in front of 1,000 people.
Sure.
It's got to be real. Like you got to do it for real, right?
It's not pragmatic to be able to do that, but I understand the principle behind that. I've seen these guys. I've again, another post I've done, but it was based on this series of videos of this guy who went and hired some guys to carry around cameras and pretend like he was in like the latest Spider-Man movie, and they made up some name for him. And within like a half an hour, he'd been walking through the mall or he'd been walking through New York, and people wanted to get their picture with him, and he was giving autographs. And this is just this random dude. He's not, they would just instantly created social proof and pre-selection with the guy just having a couple of photographers, a guy that was supposed to be his handler, and saying, yeah, you want to get a picture with Jimmy Joe or whatever, this guy over here, he's in the new Spider-Man movie, right? Oh yeah, I know that guy. And people would make up bullshit because they would create a thing in their head so that they could get with this guy. And I'll put the post in the link. But yeah, I mean, you can manufacture it, but it's not practical to keep it up, because once the jig is up,
it's up. Women, guys, it's the reason why I say chase excellence, not women. I mean, women will come when you're on your mission, right?
Yep, that's it. And women can do the same thing. They can manufacture this false facade, but this is why when you take the time and to vet a woman, women can only keep up the charade for so long. But if they really, really do care about you, then it will become who they are.
There are groupies for every male endeavor except for World of Warcraft.
That's not true. I told you that's not
World
true.
of Warcraft
I
probably
came
does
across
too.
them.
I'll
admit it. It was 2007. I did it.
I'll just throw this out there real quick because he had a question about the Way of the Superior Man. If you like tea leaves and woo-woo magical thinking stuff, Dita is your man. I think that what he talks about has some merit, but I think that a lot of his stuff is really backed up by new agey kind of thinking. He's a very magical thinking guy. I understand why he seems kind of like inspiring, but he almost has like, I think what I forget who it was, called Jordan B. Peterson, the Deepak Chopra of Christianity. I would say that David Dita is probably the Timothy Leary of the Red Pill. I don't know. The guy is very kind of woo-woo magical, and that's why I can't stomach the guy. I think that he came out at a time prior to the Red Pill, and I think people want to apply Red Pill awareness to him, and in a way, I guess you can sort of see that. But again, it's just too much tea leaves for me.
All right. Did John or Rollo, do you guys want to chime in on that one before we wrap up today?
Which
I
one?
think you said John or Ryan.
Oh, John or Ryan.
Sorry, John or Ryan.
Come on, Ryan.
No, I'm good on this one. I can't really add much to what other ones already got.
Knocked it out the park right there.
All right. So I guess we'll wrap up today's broadcast. Last super chat, Conk says, any of the guys in contact with Jack Donovan, Elliot Hulse, Stefan Molyneux, any potential future video collabs with them? Yes.
Molyneux.
Yes.
I already did an interview with Molyneux.
Yeah, if you go to Molyneux's channel, you'll see an interview with
It
Rollo.
only took him a year to put it out, but yeah.
I got to get Jack Donovan on for a one-on-one on my channel still to talk about his recent book and masculinity.
Jack's been on this show at least twice.
So is Elliot.
He's intense, dude. He's intense, man. I like him.
Yeah.
We will have Elliot on very soon.
Yeah, you'll see Elliot on very soon without too much of
If he can find a camera wide enough for his fucking
pecs. Yeah.
It's like yoked.
Okay, so let's wrap up today's show. Thank you to everybody that contributed super chats, call-ins, the panel. Again, we've got Rollo Tomasi, the Rational Male series, Ryan Stone. You can find him at ryanstone.com, Jonathan from Modern Life Dating, and Donovan from The Sharp Reality. Again, thanks to you guys. We'll see. Oh, next Thursday, we got a Red Man Group Patriarchy edition. So the Father Show for next Thursday night. We'll create the event. Make sure you're, again, subscribing to channels doesn't mean anything. So if you want to see the content pop in your newsfeed, you have to hit the notification bell. So subscribe, hit the notification bell, and when you see the event created, you have to hit set reminders. So it's like you have to subscribe 3 times.
And we almost broke. We're at 918.
913. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were
almost cracked 1,000
earlier. By the way, there's going to be a Red Man Group after party at 12:30. I'm putting a link in the chat right now. It's going to be myself, Jonathan from Modern Life Dating, Steve the Dean Williams. I think Latino Manosphere is going to be in there too, and probably Rollo. So
I just want to be on long enough to talk about the Gillette thing because
let's do it.
I need to.
Okay, yeah. We'll Rollo's our keynote introduction speaker. Then he's out. He's going to go ride sleds and grow his beard. And eat.
It's going to be on Donovan's channel. Someone in the chat is asking. It's going to be on Donovan Sharp's YouTube channel.
It's
link in the chat.
Just link there in the chat to the channel. So go hit that event and join those guys over there. We'll see you guys next week.
Guys. Oh, and it's going to say. I was going to say 1:30 for my Patreon subscribers. The private podcast is starting up there. Just go to ryanstone.com. We'll have it embedded in your private page. Your password was in the Patreon message. That's today, 1:30.
Okay, so I'll make sure I'm off the air by 1:30 so that we don't get any friendly fire. So from 12:30 to 1:30, Donovan. From 1:30 on, go to Ryan.
Yeah, tomorrow.
We're picking up a full-on network here.
I know. That's what we do. And to add on to that, I'm doing my Red Pill 101 with Pat Campbell tomorrow at 1:30 on my channel. And yes, I will be doing the Religion and Red Pill very soon. Just look at my channel for announcements.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right. See you guys next week. Peace out.
All right, guys.
Hey, good show.